He just thought it would be funny to share this woman's private with his friends.
Is this just like a pattern of this guy non-consensually sharing pictures of girls?
We've gotten these complaints for like, I think about a year, where like you've been like really aggressive from a variety of people.
You know, I've seen this before. I never really internalized it. They've been getting the complaints for a year, and it took them an entire year to curb the behavior. Yeah, it's animal behavior. I don't know how to respond. I'm like floored. It's just crazy that there's 20 people that you apparently know that belong on the registry, and you just haven't decided to report it.
Oh, I'm frozen out. I can't think. I don't think the condom off. I'm fucking frozen.
I think this is from the person. They said, I've actually been saying no, just made him hit me harder. I know that's what happened after he pulled out. This is not incomprehensible that I would just walk away.
Why did I support this guy? I'm ashamed of myself, if I'm being honest with you. Wonder how many people will make an excuse for it. All right, let's get this going here. We're doing the content nuke from Ryan Beard about Destiny. I'm curious about it. That's pretty much it. I'm a little sick still, so sorry if I sound weird. There's nothing else I could really... No, I just let you know. So let's get it started, man. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got.
I don't wish to bring anybody any more harassment than they've already received.
Cool.
But you have to understand that at this point, I'm kind of being pushed into playing my entire hand. There will be no vague allegations today. There will be no mentions of nukes, only mushroom clouds.
Whoa. You gonna show your mushroom cloud, or...
I went with the title, Kethels, a case study on internet terrorism and mass media manipulation.
Well, I could kind of believe it.
This is going to be a cataloging the past year, demonstration of what happens when communities fail to hold their own members responsible, and what comes of the belief that there are no bad tactics.
This is from Steven, I guess, on Twitter. Kiss yourself, you silly goose. I hope... Oh, this is, I can't even do like a funny on this. What the hell? I guess this is from 2015, so that's 10 years ago, but Jesus, that's rather intense.
Only bad targets. This is going to be a careful documentation of lies. I'm not running around screen sharing people's nudes. I'm not having secret recordings to be in my apartment. Bro, I'll talk about anything all the time ever. Are we serious?
So then the question stands, did you Lauren Southern?
Scams. Every single person on the internet that is pushing NFTs is just trying to find a bigger sucker. You can basically buy and sell, or you can buy and sell like Twitch clips, and you get an NFT that you can get autographed by the streamer. And you know what? If you buy it, I can go right up here and click autograph, and I can sign whatever NFT you want me to sign. Okay? Threats.
On November 1st, 2021, Destiny posted his offline chat. Tell Anne if she leaks my sexting, I might have some pics to share. Okay.
Bullying.
This is from him. I don't see a date on it, but it's obviously from like a year ago. Maybe? Oh no, maybe that's when he took the picture of it because he has blue hair, but you're hopping onto a bandwagon of people accusing me of being an R-word apologist, we'll say, because you're still upset that I bullied you off the internet a year ago. Don't play stupid. You know exactly what you're doing. I don't know who that is, but...
Doxing. I literally just doxed that girl. The one that tried to throw egg on me like a week or two ago. Like, I don't give a fuck about like doxing. And an utter lack of accountability.
Molina recently confirmed that the sex tapes leaked by Destiny's former
Jesus Christ.
girl were shared by Destiny without her
Nice,
consent.
good one. Nice.
If she has no legal recourse.
I've got a whole bunch of super chats for you. Wick, ready?
I guess I'm ready.
Okay.
Over the years,
What were the super chats? I was waiting.
I've worried about the types of tactics
Oh, that was towards Ryan Beard? Okay.
endorsed by progressive communities. The uncomfortable distorting of narratives. Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. It sounds really shitty, but like I think that Israel should just draw its borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shitty, but like that's about where I'm at. The grotesque.
Oh, that's interesting, because my understanding is that's supposed to be a joke that Destiny made to just kind of like be a little bit of a silly guy, which isn't, you shouldn't be making jokes if you're trying to be a serious person in this field, but not like that at least. But it kind of doesn't like sound like a joke, you know. Usually if you're saying the joke, you don't do the plausible deniability language at the end. You're like, yeah, this terrible thing, and then you're like, just kidding. Not like, oh, this terrible thing, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't even know if that's necessarily a joke. Or maybe he just doesn't know how to set up jokes. I don't know. I don't think he's Jewish. So, like me, I have to say that. All right, you guys YouTube, too sensitive. Let us make jokes about ourselves, okay? I think he might have meant that. He might have meant that.
Test shape-shifting of facts. Let's say there's a person that's like 30 years old and tries to like randomly sext like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming.
I guess it depends on the context. I think I understand what he's saying there. Like, grooming is the process of setting up a child for exploitation. This texting could be that.
Sext like,
but I guess he's saying because it's the sex, it technically isn't the grooming. It's just the abuse part. But all right.
Like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be.
No, we don't need to listen to this again. It's kind of yucky.
Conduct. The rioting needs to ability to hold themselves and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be. I don't think that would be considered grooming. The general inability to hold themselves to a decent standard of behavioral conduct. The rioting needs to stop. And if that means like white redneck militia dudes out there mowing down dipshit protesters that think that they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my blessing. Because
maybe at 9 p.m. Maybe 9 p.m. is a good torch time.
Holy shit! It was the tail.
Yeah, man. I know that. Oh my god! But this R word. Low IQ. Jesus Christ. How? Why? Why does he say? Oh my God. He said GG. He said, guys, he just said GG. If you, well, I was going to put my finger over it, but I can't. Anyway, Jesus Christ.
Of an internet.
This is like more edgy than me, man. Like, I was an edgy guy back then, but this is preposterous. This is actually getting me. I don't know how long ago this is, but you know, I used to be an edgy guy. We're like the same age, but I was never this comfortable to publicly do this kind of stuff. Holy Jesus.
Bully, given far too much power.
Did you guys know that if a bitch breaks up with you and you send her nudes to everybody, even that's wrong, guys?
On a mission to seek fame and fortune.
So what's that look like revenue-wise? I think last time you said it was like $50K a month.
It's probably a little bit higher than that now. Yeah.
By building a career.
Base, dude. Can't wait.
Through vicious content.
All I have to do is say tactical N-words all the time and I can make $50K a month. What the hell?
Conflict.
Actually kill yourself. Yes, kill yourself.
We've allowed ourselves to gaze into the abyss for far too long.
Destiny
is the result.
Okay. Trying to get every pro gamer word in those messages, yeah. Well, that was quite an intro. Let's continue.
On January 8th, 2025, the streamer Destiny's ex-wife Melina accused him of sharing pornographic videos of her without her consent to a 19-year-old young woman over Discord.
Something I
Wait, he did it before? Why didn't I know about this?
can't, like, I'm not gonna go into detail of anything, but there's plenty of people that's wondering this, but I feel like there's
Do I like Mr. Beard? Ryan Beard? Yeah, I think so. You know, we've had our ups and downs. But you know, I don't hate him. I'm just doing my thing right now. I'm watching the video. If I didn't like him, I wouldn't watch the video. I'm just kind of like chilling right now. You know? So
this should be obvious. Nothing has happened with consent with anyone, not me and not anyone else. Like, there's been
the same girl? Wait, what is wrong with this guy?
no consent.
On January 21st, 2025,
I just didn't even realize he had done this before. What the fuck?
one of Destiny's close friends named Pixie accused him of also sharing pornographic videos of her without her consent. Destiny later revealed that this 19-year-old he had sent these pornographic videos to had allegedly been hacked, leading to these videos being leaked on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. You probably just shouldn't share non-consensual stuff to people, or share things non-consensually to people. I guess that's the better way to say it, right? Because I think they were made consensually, but they weren't shared consensually, because it's just not the right thing to do. I know that's what a shocking, crazy thing to say, but that's it. You know, I'm sure that his perspective was, hey guys, I'm sure they'll never find out, and then they found out. But it just shows a lack of respect for other people and their boundaries to do something like that because you think you can get away with it. I think that if you do shitty things, especially shitty things, because you think because you think you get away with it, that's kind of when it matters. When you don't have a fear of getting caught, what you do when you don't have a fear of getting caught, I think matters more than what you do when you are afraid of getting caught with something. That's kind of the actual way your morals work out. right? I don't think that that's like a tough take.
I think a friend of mine's account from that I talked to like 3 or 4 years ago ended up getting compromised, and you know, sometimes you just gotta roll with the memes. It is what it is. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Okay.
I think at this point it was just pictures of him sucking a penor.
Later on that same day of January 21st, one of Destiny's previous close friends named Cherry not only accused Destiny of sharing a recording of them having sex without her consent, but also of recording her without her knowledge.
I heard that she sent that like to a friend, the proof, but she doesn't want to send it to other people because that person's getting harassed or something. Here's the thing. I wouldn't doubt that that's true. I wouldn't doubt that Destiny, I'm pretty sure I watched a clip of him talking about how he records things in his like house or something, that he just has it in case somebody says something mean to him or something. But I wouldn't doubt that he's the kind of person that would record him fucking other people and be like, who cares? Nobody will find out kind of a mentality. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's disrespectful. I don't think that he cares about anybody else in any meaningful way other than some kind of a transactional unit.
Destiny has since admitted to sharing these sex tapes,
which is probably extremely difficult to prove in the case. You distributed it non-consensually. Yeah, I know. I looked into it for yeah. So he's
of Pixie and Melina without their consent. Cherry's allegation is still just an allegation, but she has recently filed a police report against Destiny. This is the story of Stephen Bennell II, a man given far too much power and the ways he has abused this power for his own personal gain. Hi, so this video has been a long time coming. I've been slowly collecting evidence about this man Destiny here for about 3 years now.
I know. I remember when he had a conversation with Destiny a while ago and it went a little poorly for Ryan. And so I imagine he might have been pretty upset with that one. And that's probably where this comes from. That doesn't mean anything that's about to be said is wrong. In fact, Ryan tends to put together very good work. But I know that he's been very dissatisfied with Destiny for a long time. So it's really just probably this is the perfect time to strike. Opportunistically. Again, that doesn't mean it's not valid, obviously. I would have personally, I would have, no.
And I don't know about you, but I think...
Wait, what the hell was that?
In Destiny here for about 3 years now. And I don't know about you, but I think it's finally time to take this motherfucker down.
Ooh,
Destiny...
Probably not going to happen. I don't think his audience is going to care, honestly. It's sad because I do care. I'm a little frustrated with... I'm pretty frustrated with Destiny, if I'm being honest with you. I feel stupid because, he's a smart guy. And, I always thought he meant well and that he cared about the, things, even when he was being an asshole. But it turns out he doesn't. I know that sounds so crazy. I don't think that he cares. I don't think that he cares about any of the things that he talks about. I think he just wants to be right, which, makes me feel foolish because I thought that at least he cared. He was just edgy. But his, him non-consensually showing other girls, trying to rizz up 19-year-old girls by showing non-consensual pictures and videos of other girls is a gross violation of boundaries. And then his response to it isn't even like, yeah, that was really shitty and pathetic. There's not even like a, there's not then. And frankly, I think if he actually communicated that he cared and knew what he did was wrong, that the lawsuit would have never happened. The girl that's filing the lawsuit, one of her big things was like, oh, he doesn't even seem to care. So it's like, what leg do I have to stand on? How do I support somebody who does gross shit, who pretends to advocate for particular, groups, doesn't actually care about those groups, violates people's boundaries, and then just doesn't care and seems to just create an entire web of people around him that he can use and discard at any given moment. And the majority of those people tend to be pieces of shit. Mr. Girl, Myron, Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, Nick Fuentes, people he's been friends with and then no longer friends with, Fosh. I mean, like, he's just had everybody, like, it's like he'll draw horrible people into his orbit, be their friends, and then he'll cast them out and make these videos on them about how terrible they are. And they are terrible because because that's why they went to his community in the first place. So she wants money too, though. Good for her. She should get money. Who fucking cares?
He is widely hated by a variety of communities across the internet for a variety of reasons. But no matter how hated Destiny became, he always had a strong army of sycophants that would defend him no matter what he did. However, recently, almost all of his orbiters have abandoned him. Orbiters are what he calls his friends who stream with him. Basically, the implication...
Yeah, is that what it is? I think people who just kind of revolve around him. Which I guess is that. I mean, I guess I'd consider myself an orbiter to an extent, just more of like a Pluto orbiter. You know what I mean? Because I try not to get too close. The good thing I didn't. Yeah.
Is that Destiny is this massive planet, and all of his friends are these little planets that orbit around him.
I like the Mr. Girl edition there.
This has created an ecosystem where most of Destiny's friends rely on Destiny's success for fame and money. And because most of these people rely on Destiny for money, they've done a remarkably good job at sweeping allegations against Destiny under the rug for years.
Sweep! Yeah, I mean, listen, there's two interpretations of this. One is the more malicious interpretation that Destiny intentionally pulls people into his orbit and makes them dependent onto him so that they really struggle to make content outside of him so that he is able to have a bunch of people that he can make content about with different capacities, and then they're less likely to want to, take revenge on him because they have the same community. Or maybe he just likes to help both smaller streamers. I don't know. I think there's probably a middle ground there.
However, these recent allegations against Destiny have been so egregious that the majority of even his most loyal orbiters have decided to leave his orbit.
Whoa. Look, there's a fat guy. I don't think that this fat guy's me because it has hair. I think, I don't even think I'm in here. I guess I'm not an orbiter. This guy likes a lot of horse stuff. This girl was a guy. But... there's nothing wrong with that. I think we're all girls in the womb, and then we turn into boys. So, it is what it is. This one's maybe Brittany Venti, Nick Fuentes, Logan Paul. Who the fuck are these people? I don't know. Is this Matt Walsh? I don't know who the fuck. Who are these people? I don't know. Boogie. This is Boogie. I don't think that's Boogie. I think that this is a different fat guy. This is a different fat guy that you don't know who it is. I forgot his name, but he's another fat guy.
Now, barely anyone is still defending Destiny. One person who is still defending Destiny is Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, who recently decided to slut-shame Destiny's victims.
Well, I mean, Myron Gaines is the guy who told women who were talking about how they were assaulted on his show. He said, well, it's your fault. You should have chose guys better. Right, so that's really interesting. He's also the guy who had somebody who used to rape a bunch of women by drugging them and running trains on them with his friends on his show, and then they were laughing about it when he said that story. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I feel extremely violated with how so many people saw me non-consensually in a vulnerable position. I feel like people are always going to use this as proof that I slept my way to whatever achievement I garner. I feel like it's evidence that everything would be better with me gone. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Prixie, but you did sleep your way to the top. You gotta call a spade.
Pixie's not even a popular streamer. She's got like 1,000 followers. She didn't sleep her way to the top at all. And I think that she's trying to do something outside of streaming to become a popular, or not popular, to become, get a career. I think she wants to go to law school or something. I don't remember the specifics. So this just doesn't make any sense.
Made a spade here.
Even though Myron is an absolutely insane anti-Semitic woman hater who stands for everything that Destiny claims to be against, Destiny says that he has more respect for Myron than for anyone else on the internet.
In all of my years, God, this feels so shitty. In all my years doing content, I have more respect for Myron than any other individual.
Apparently, the
just to be clear,
amount of respect that Destiny...
Just to be clear, I think that there's like a context there that's in the context of being a content creator. He respects that Myron has boundaries when it comes to content to not like publicly go after Destiny when he's at a low point. Here's the thing. Somebody who hates everything but white guys balls deep in his ass That's Myron, by the way. You probably shouldn't have respect for them because you find them so disgusting. So you should never have the idea of saying, I find it respectable. I know I've seen Destiny talk about how you shouldn't give Trump any accolades, even when he gets some things right sometimes, just because of the optics of it. So you would think you'd apply that to horrible people like Myron. And also, I find it interesting that one of the things you value about Myron is that he has solid boundaries when it comes to the way that he deals with other content creators, when you don't seem to have solid boundaries when it comes to people that you have personal relationships with. So, a couple of things to keep in mind. You know, I know people want to call everything bad faith clipping, but when you remove all the overcomplicated nonsense that you come out of the woodwork with, you should find people who hate women, black people, Jews, etc. disgusting and deplorable. And like the fact that it's like, oh, he has good boundaries in private with content creators. What does that matter? What does the context really matter here? He's okay with Myron. He somehow finds Myron somebody that he can have any level of respect for. And that's just bizarre to respect somebody like that. Somebody who will look at women and say that it's their fault for getting raped. I don't see how you could ever have respect for that person. You can't put that aside when it comes to the entirety of their character. It's just gross. I don't know.
He has for you as a person is dependent on how willing you are to suck up to him.
He is the only person that I've seen that will consistently go into areas where there's so much like laughing and jokes and fun times to be had right here if he was shit on me, but he doesn't. He won't do it.
I have some level of empathy for Destiny's orbiters because it is difficult.
The hell is this? It's got that Edgar cut.
Difficult to be stuck in a position where you financially rely on someone who is not a great person. But I have basically no empathy for Destiny because I believe that Destiny is a massive piece of shit, and I will hopefully...
Even evil people can have respectable qualities. Well, again, you know, I used to watch Destiny, and I watched him talk about how you shouldn't give Trump any accolades at all because you shouldn't humanize him in some capacity. I remember him talking about somebody else saying that and that he agreed with that take. So your name is DGG so, you know, assuming you like Destiny a lot. So that's not standing by his own principles. And like, what's the point of really acknowledging, because I kind of agree with that too. What's the point of really acknowledging somebody's respectable qualities? If there's somebody who literally is a rape apologist who hates Jews and women and hates black people and black women, a disgusting human being, why would you have any level of respect for anything? Why would I put those things aside? It doesn't make any sense. It's just gross. It's just pathetic. It's weak. It's a weak thing to do, to respect somebody like Myron Gaines. It's weak and it's pathetic. And I'll guarantee you a big reason Destiny respects him is because he was able to make a lot of money working with him. It's just weak. So that's what a weak person would say.
Demonstrate why I feel that way in this video. In this video, I will go through nearly every harmful action that Destiny has committed over the years and then allow you to come to your own conclusions on whether or not you think this is a person who deserves anyone's admiration or respect. Before we jump into Destiny's actions from across the years, I think I should take a little bit of time to dispel some possible well poisoning that Destiny or his community DGG could try to attack me with. The first accusation they might throw at me.
Well, I mean, the people who like Destiny are just going to run the fence regardless. You're not really going to speak to anybody who still loves Destiny, you know?
Is that I'm obsessed with Destiny.
Papa God, I think Destiny is so used to getting backstabbed by people for clout that he feels Myron's loyalty is like a fresh reaction. I'm just not going to ever accept that as a reasonable thing, because every person that he surrounds himself with is scum of the earth. He's comfortable being friends with scum of the earth, and then he gets backstabbed by scum of the earth. And instead of going, I should probably interact with better people that aren't scum of the earth, I'm going to keep interacting with them and going through my money-making pipeline. Find horrific people like Nick Fuentes, white supremacist, Mr. Girl, rapist, and several others. Become friends with them, make content with them, and then we're going to have an unpredictable falling out. And then I'm going to make content about that falling out. And all of a sudden, all the charity of like, oh, I like that person is gone now. It's a self-created system of finding horrible people that are as bad as him as a person being friends with them, making content and money with them, and then disavowing them the second that they that's just convenient for him and he can't siphon from them anymore. I don't understand what you're talking about. He's creating a system where he's finding shit people, and then they're shitty to him as he is shitty to them, and then he's like, oh, I don't respect this quality. You know what? It doesn't make any sense. He's the arbiter of his own life. He could just decide not to engage with people like that. You ever hear, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? How many times is he going to get fooled by somebody backstabbing him before he's like, oh, I probably shouldn't associate with people like that? So, okay.
This is an accusation they like to throw at anyone who criticizes Destiny. Personally, I don't think it makes me obsessed with Destiny that I've been researching him for the purpose of criticizing him. None of Destiny's fans accused me of being obsessed with Sneeko when I did a deep dive into Sneeko's harmful actions because they don't like Sneeko. But they probably will accuse me of being obsessed with Destiny because Destiny is their daddy. This is the first video I've ever made about Destiny, and it'll probably be about an hour and a half long. Compare that to the probably hundreds of hours that Destiny has spent on his stream criticizing Hassan, and I have nothing against Destiny criticizing.
It's so funny. It's just that Brian feels like he has to put in a lot of work to just show people what is. It makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, I don't like. I'm doing this is normal. What I'm doing. I'm digging. I've been collecting information for a while to make a video, and this is normal. Now, obviously, he's still a little raw over the conversation, but listen, I support the video. But yeah, Destiny does that too. He talks about other people a lot too. It's all part of the content game, baby, you know?
Criticizing Hassan, it would just be pretty hypocritical to accuse me of being obsessed with Destiny for making 1 hour and a half long video about him, while Destiny has talked about Hassan for hundreds of hours. Destiny has written multiple incredibly long manifestos criticizing creators like Vosh, Keffels, and Bob7, who
I don't know who Bob7 is, but these two people are pieces of shit as well. You know? Again, friends with Destiny at a certain point. So interesting.
Destiny believes have wronged him over the years. Although I find the label of manifesto a bit cringe, I see nothing inherently wrong with Destiny writing manifestos to chronicle the bad behaviors of these creators. So, in the same way, I guess this will be my manifesto against Destiny. And if you have an issue with me making
Wait, what? There it is, Hassan glazing? Who is Hassan glazed?
this manifesto, I hope you will stay logically consistent and also criticize Destiny for making manifestos about Vosh, Keffels, and Bob7. If I had
The fuck is Bob Saget, dude?
to predict how Destiny himself would respond to this video, he would probably
just ignore it at this point because he knows that optically it's not the right time to talk about it.
respond with something similar to this tweet that he tweeted at me a couple years ago. You're hopping into a bandwagon of people accusing me of being a rape apologist because you're still upset that I
don't remember the specifics. Oh, wait. I don't remember the specifics. I remember the controversy. I don't remember the specifics. I have a video I did on it. Maybe I'll try to link it in the description.
bullied you off the internet
On
a
my
year
old
ago.
channel.
Don't play stupid. You know exactly what you're doing. To be honest, Destiny isn't 100% wrong here. I am jumping onto a bandwagon of people criticizing him, but I don't think that's an inherently bad thing to do.
Well, you kind of have to. You kind of have to ride the wave. Or else nobody would receive this video well, you know?
Destiny jumps onto bandwagons of people criticizing Hassan all the time. When Ethan Klein
Same.
makes videos attacking Hassan, Destiny jumps onto the bandwagon.
Same. This wasn't a video of Ethan attacking Hassan, by the way, just to be clear. This was them when they were still doing leftovers having a conversation that Ethan did win. Okay, just to be clear. I think this is the same conversation where Hassan said that he would put capitalists into a re-education camp, which we know is an abuse camp, right? When China does it to Muslims, it's an abuse camp. When anybody, you don't put people in re-education camps. That means that they're there without without their will. I believe in re-education. I don't believe in camps. Okay? I don't believe in camps. All right? All right? You want to know why? Because I'm a Boy Scout, but I'm also a Jew. And only half of me came back from the camp, all right? So
when a bunch of people on the internet are criticizing Destiny right now for sharing women's sex tapes without their consent, hell yeah, I'm gonna jump onto the bandwagon and roast the shit out of him. With the way the internet works, criticisms against someone are more likely to stick when that person is actively engaged in a controversy.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's less defense running for Destiny. And again, I was one of the ones doing it, man. I really I really thought he was like a good guy that was just very edgy. I was like, yeah, I can respect it. I think he cares about what he talks about. He's a good guy. He's just really edgy. I wish he'd be more mature. But no, he's not more. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck, man. I feel so stupid. I know it's just crazy. I feel so fucking dumb for falling for it, you know? Like, I'm not even kidding. It's like, damn, like, how was I so wrong, man? Like, I just feel like I thought he actually cared, but he just doesn't even have the decency to respect people's boundaries in private. And then when it comes out, instead of him being apologetic, he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. I just, what am I, like, I could, you know? It's like, oh my God. Like, buyer's remorse, dude. Holy Jesus Christ. It's like when I bought that bad dragon, it didn't itch that spot, you know?
This is just how the internet is. So yes, I waited to make this video until you were in a possibly career-ending controversy because
it's not going to end his career. He doesn't have enough shame for that.
Because I knew that this would make more people listen to my criticism against you. Do you have a problem with that? You know how the internet works, Destiny. You jump onto bandwagons of criticizing people who are in controversies all the time. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, you're mad about it.
Please apologize for the Papa Good sex tape. That's fucking based.
All the other shit from all the other vultures and all the other communities that are like coming in trying to like make drama out of this, that don't give a fuck about any victims or any people involved, which is the majority of people. Don't give a fuck about any of that. I don't care about that.
Well, you don't care about that when you talk about these things either. So who are you projecting?
Another accusation that Destiny's fans like to throw at people who criticize him is that they're just doing it for money. Oh, you mean like how Destiny has made money from covering other people's controversies for years? What a dog shit argument. Yes, I'm gonna make money from this video because this is my job, just like Destiny makes money from criticizing other people because that's his job.
Same, yeah.
But this video isn't just about making money for me. I genuinely care about raising awareness for the shitty stuff that Destiny has done.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little selfish here. I do care what he did. I think it's really shitty. That's why I can't defend this guy anymore. But again, I feel stupid. So I guess part of this is me just feeling dumb, being like, yeah, man, like, egg on my fucking balls, you know? The money's cool too. Not gonna lie. It's pretty dope, you know?
If you're gonna write a manifesto about Keffals and say that she needs to be held responsible for her actions,
demonstration of what happened.
What the hell was that?
About Keffals and say that
who the hell holds their hands like this? All right.
She needs to be held responsible for her actions.
Demonstration of what happens when communities fail to hold their own members responsible.
I'm gonna do the same thing to you, motherfucker. Now let's focus in on this part of the tweet. You're still upset that I bullied you off the internet a year ago. You know what, Destiny? You are not totally wrong. Being bullied off the internet...
You probably could have stayed, Ryan, if you fought through it, but...
It didn't feel particularly good because people don't tend to enjoy being bullied. Destiny and his community definitely have bullied me over the years, but I don't really care to relitigate my personal beef with Destiny. Destiny and his community weren't very nice to the suit-wearing fatty. Who gives a fuck? But Destiny, you don't get to criticize Keffals for being a bully.
Internet bullying.
And then turn around and take pride.
Like, I wish this person would just... kiss themselves already. Okay.
In the fact that you're a bully.
It's so weird that he's so comfortable saying these things that could come out. I don't understand. I just think them.
That is called hypocrisy. The fact that
does Keffal still make content? Doesn't she want to make like stupid horror content or something?
Destiny and his community have bullied me in the past probably is a factor in why I chose to make.
Wow, they haven't made content in a year.
This video was.
This video is made by my balls. I just like to say stuff sometimes, but that actually, sorry, I don't think they have those anymore. They have a website. Do they make any content anymore? Like, what's the last time that they made? I'm so sorry. I went onto their website, and the first thing I see is tipster donated $100. They said, "Happy holidays, friendo. Hoping you, your family, friends, loved ones have a blessed holiday season." Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Come on. What are you doing, dude? $100? What the fuck? You're such a weirdo. Sorry. A little off topic. All right. Continue.
This video.
Fucking insane.
And I would argue that the treatment that Destiny received from creators like Vosh and Keffels is one of the reasons he made manifestos against them. As much as I might want to, I am a human being and I can't fully separate myself from my own personal biases. And the fact that I have been bullied by Destiny and his community in the past does probably make me somewhat biased against them. If you feel like my personal...
There's nothing wrong with having a bias. It's okay to have a bias. You know what I mean? As long as you explain, it doesn't mean that a bias is wrong. Like I have a bias against homeless people because ew. No, you know, it just depends on how you operate with that bias, right?
Bias against Destiny means that I'm not the right person to make this video. I respect that opinion and I encourage you to go watch a different YouTube video. But in this video, I'm going to try my absolute best to be as unbiased as possible and stick to the facts as much as possible. I am going to try my best to not view Destiny in bad faith because I think even if you view him in good faith, he's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, true.
I do feel like one of Destiny's tactics from across the years is to be incredibly mean to anyone he has a conflict with. So when that person eventually decides to make a video criticizing him, he can just write that person off as obsessive and just mad because he bullied them.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I think Destiny surrounds himself with bad people. And so it's easy for him to say, hey, that person's bad. I don't think that she's the worst person. I'm just saying, I think that's one of the things. I don't think that good people are really quick to want to jump around Destiny. And if they do operate with him in some capacity, they're very quick to jump out, right? The longer you stay, the worse you probably are. Okay? And so I think that that's part of the pipeline, is that bad, not great people will associate themselves with Destiny. And then when they have their unpredictable falling out, he's like, hey, that's a bad person. Yeah, probably. Like,
as a supporter of yours, I would appreciate if you address some of the points made in the Brittany video. She seemed to be pretty fair, especially in her conclusions. I don't have time to address every deranged, obsessive video that's made about me. I still haven't watched a Brittany video.
Just add this tactic to the long list of tactics that Destiny and his community use to deflect criticism from themselves.
I think Destiny purposely goes after mentally unstable girls for plausible deniability. I don't know. Maybe he just likes, listen, I'm attracted for some reason, like social worker, fat social worker, overweight social workers. I like overweight women, are attracted to me. I've dated more than one. I married one. So that's like my type. Now, obviously, they're mentally usually stronger. Well, all social workers are actually kind of crazy because the reason that they want to help people is because they're fucked up in the head. So there's that. The point that I'm making is that people have a type, you know. Maybe it's just his type. But like, I wouldn't doubt that he likes to take advantage of the fact that they may not be able to set as strong of boundaries, you know. I wouldn't doubt it, you know, based on what we're seeing here.
The last criticism that Destiny and his community might make against this video is that I'm bringing up a bunch of old news that Destiny has already addressed. While that might be the case for some of the things I talk about in this video is not being made for Destiny's community. I'm making this video for the broader internet, and the majority of the broader internet—
Whoa, abroad? Can't say that about women.
—doesn't know about
sexist.
All of these past controversies that you might consider old news.
Well, I mean, listen, it's an interesting thing talking about people's past controversies. On the one hand, talking about people's past controversies that they've like satisfied in their settling of it is sometimes can be like annoying. And what I mean is, like, let's say somebody makes a mistake, and I've made mistakes before. Ryan has too. We talked to Lewis McClung jumped into my stream the other day, and then me and Ryan ended up talking. It was very interesting. Weird that it happened. And we kind of like talked about that. If you do something wrong in the past and you've kind of like rectified it in some capacity, or you've settled it properly, you know, whatever level of accountability, or bringing up that past, it's just kind of beating a dead horse, you know. That being said, if you have a controversy in your past and you just kind of washed through it and never really satisfied it, I think it's still relevant to be able to bring it up, even in the future, you know. Like, let's say, for instance, you're talking about Russia and Ukraine, and you're like, Crimea River. Hey, guys, Russia used to starve Ukrainians to death, and then they implanted Russians, and now they're saying that's their land because there's Russians there. Crimea River. If you never apologized for saying that, you're probably a scumbag piece of shit. And you probably continue to deserve criticism for this, even if you had said that, you know, years prior, because you still feel that way if you haven't apologized for it. So
Contrary to what you guys might believe, the entire world does not orbit around Destiny. If Destiny...
You think you lost a lot of people with this video? There's too much edging? You might be right. There is a lot of pretext to this video to try to satisfy, like, I guess, you know, Destiny-leaning individuals, but I don't know if it'll turn people away.
Destiny is going to be interviewing potential presidential candidates like Marianne Williamson, then I think the broader political community deserves to know about Destiny's past actions. Destiny has said before that he has nothing to hide, and people can't expose him for anything that he's done in the past because he's open about everything he's done in his life. When someone else was trying to expose Destiny for his bad behavior, he sent these messages to his chat. So if he wants to expose me, that's fine. Let him expose. But he needs to post receipts instead of just vaguely alluding to shit. There's literally nothing anyone could have on me for anything because I don't do anything bad/weird. I am the cleanest motherfucker in this entire scene. The worst anyone could ever have on me is fucking dick pics or something. He can talk about whatever he wants, but he should provide proof, not just baseless accusations/speculation. Alright, Destiny, in this video I will provide plenty of proof and receipts to back up everything that I accuse you of. If what you said in these messages is true, then you should have absolutely no issue with me lying out everything that you've done over the years on the table. Are we on the same page? Great. Honestly, I feel like the fact that I feel the need to lay out all these preambles and pretext and shoot down possible criticisms before they make them should show you that Destiny's community have become masters at deflecting criticism against them. You can call these motherfuckers Bert from Mary Poppins in the way that they're masters at sweeping. The joke here is...
Ooh, got him. Bert is he's a sweeper guy.
That Bert from Mary Poppins is a chimney sweep.
He's doing blackface.
It's a funny joke, okay? Fuck off. My goal in this video is not to push some sort of political agenda against Destiny. I actually think he is a very smart dude who's one of the best debaters on the internet and one of the best people at using logic to defend liberal values.
Got him. I don't know. To me, if he doesn't really mean anything that he's saying, it kind of hurts the argument. You know, it's probably better representations than Destiny when it comes to advocating for left-wing shit. He mostly debates other terminally online people, so probably better off with like a Jon Stewart, somebody who cares about what they say. You know?
I debated Destiny a couple times a few years ago, and he definitely wiped the floor with me, especially in our second debate. I have no shame in admitting that. Destiny is definitely a better debater than I am. Even if I disagree with a lot of his opinions.
Yeah, it's true. If he said the video's not for the DGGers, why do so much pretext just for them? That is a yeah, I mean... But it is what it is, man.
Because I'm a leftist, I can still recognize that he's done a great job dunking on a bunch of dumbass conservatives. But like Destiny said in his manifesto against Keffals, I don't think we should be afraid to hold members of our own community accountable.
Demonstration of what happens when communities fail to hold their own members responsible.
And Destiny has done a lot of fucked up shit that I think he needs to be held accountable for. Just because he's a good debater who's really good at defending the liberal ideology, I don't think that means that we
That's a bit dishonest that John isn't getting into the internet discourse. Listen, don't trigger me, okay? If you want to say that I'm wrong, that's fine. Don't call me dishonest, you stupid fuck. You're being stupid on purpose. That's dishonest. What's dishonest? Why is it dishonest to you? You fucking idiot. Just be like, oh, well, you know, I don't think that Jon Stewart jumps into the internet discourse, or here's my counter opinion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just think he's a better person to look up to and a better advocate of like left-leaning politics because he cares about what he has to say and his word carries more weight and he's more mature and he's more emotionally regulated. You know, that's what I meant. Not, oh, he likes to debate. Trigger you. Fucking dishonest. You stupid asshole. Okay, anyway.
We should sweep his bad behavior under the rug.
And I don't understand how Steven can really say that he wants to be a serious political advocate if he doesn't want to manage his personal life in any way that's serious. Like,
Papa assuming because he treats women poorly, he doesn't believe in any liberal values. Yeah, kinda. If one of his values is like advocating for women and like, you know, rape culture or whatever, and then he can't even fucking respect women's boundaries, like, yeah, okay.
Why should the DNC involve you in anything that they want when your personal life looks like a fucking train wreck that's going to be bad PR for all of them? Why should anyone want to spend time debating you on these bigger platforms if all you're going to do is bring fucking tarnishing their reputation, right? It's like, if you're serious about this, you should make this sacrifice. And if you can't, then I don't think you really care about the political positions that you claim to care about.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
My goal in this video...
See, a black guy said it, guys. He has to be right.
Video is to simply lay out all of his actions from across the years that I consider harmful and allow you to come to your own conclusions. Alright? Let's get into it. In this video, I hope to establish a pattern of how Destiny over the course of his career has repeatedly taken advantage of and harmed women and occasionally children.
Okay.
And how he has
what the fuck was that?
repeatedly taken advantage of and harmed women and
Dude, she's 15. What the fuck? But she sent me pictures. What the fuck is that from? I need more context for that.
occasionally children. And how he has advocated for a world that makes it easier for people like him to harm women and children. We'll start by going through Destiny's harmful behavior towards women, then we'll take a detour to his harmful behavior towards children, and then we'll loop back around to his harmful behavior towards women again. Sound good? Well, it's not going to be.
All right. Well, I mean, harming women, not against that. I'm just obviously kidding. I don't know why I'm making that joke.
Around the end of 2011, Destiny sexually assaulted a woman on his live stream. I'm not using the word allegedly here because we have video of him doing it, and he has openly admitted that it was sexual assault.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it before.
I would say that in my streaming career in the past, like totally publicly, like I completely and totally like assaulted a girl on stream before for like fucking 5 minutes or whatever. I got super fucking drunk and was like grabbing her fucking breasts the entire time.
Later, Destiny...
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you hear like sexual assault, I think the thing that goes to my mind first is like a violent, you know, I've seen like a little bit of that before. Like it's really shitty. It's like Revenge of the Nerds. Oh, I got drunk and I'm small and non-threatening, so like I'm gonna grab at somebody, and I'm drunk, so it's not that big of a deal, and you know. That's like obviously a guy like me couldn't get away with that. I'm 6'4". Destiny's like 5'2". So like it's like, oh, I'm just a small, not intimidating guy. You know, I wouldn't want to get away with that. My point is that that's probably one of the tactics there. Really gross shit, man. Really gross shit. I mean,
he has attempted to downplay his actions here by tweeting, "I was drunk off my ass literally for the first time in my life." And he said that at the time...
See, that's like... and every person in the environment was enjoying that at my expense. I shouldn't have touched anyone. Please don't sit here and pretend to give a fuck about an event 15 years ago. I guess it was 15 years ago, but still. I think it's gross. I think being like, yeah, it was shitty of me, but like, fuck off. I don't know. All right.
I was drunk off my ass literally for the first time in
it's just like a pattern of this type of behavior, no?
My life. And he said that at the time he didn't understand how bad it was, but now looking back years later, he understands that it was reprehensible behavior.
And at the time I figured like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna fuck anyway, like it doesn't matter, like she's chill or whatever, like I'm drunk, it doesn't matter. Like at the time I'm thinking like, you know, oh, it's not a big deal. But like looking back, I'm like, okay, wait, this is like really, really, really reprehensible behavior.
But if you go back and watch the clip, immediately after assaulting her, he says, "Listen, I'm gonna apologize to you so much tomorrow."
Listen, I'm gonna apologize.
Yeah,
to you
say sorry.
so much tomorrow.
Why would you need to apologize to her tomorrow, Destiny? Is it maybe because you understood that what you were doing was wrong? To
Kind of a good point, yeah.
me, this shows that even in his incredibly drunk state, he knew that what he was doing is wrong. And obviously being drunk...
Yeah, probably. And I guess he was using the, oh, well, I'm educated now excuse more as like a bullshit excuse. Like that is an excuse for people like, oh, I wasn't educated on that. Or sometimes people know that they can say that and be like, I've changed, I'm reformed. So
drunk does not absolve you of your actions. Otherwise, we wouldn't criminalize drunk driving.
You've come here to this stream to defend drunk drivers to me.
This is a common tactic with Destiny where he'll half take accountability for something, but half try to downplay it by saying, oh, I was so drunk at the time. Oh, I didn't understand how bad it was at the time. But I'm calling bullshit. You understood that what you were doing was bad, even back when you did it, because you were an adult, not a baby.
What the fuck?
According to this woman, Destiny has never directly apologized to her.
Oh, really? Would love an apology. I don't think he ever will, but everyone that was there, hell, even just the stream viewers could see we didn't make him drink. We were all drinking, and that isn't a pass to grab anyone on live stream. This whole trip was odd. How popular was Destiny at the time? Was he feeling on a high, like he could do whatever he wanted because he was like becoming popular?
Even though she would like him to, she acknowledges that he has indirectly apologized on his stream. But my question is, did he apologize on his stream to save his reputation, or did he apologize because he was genuinely remorseful?
I mean, that's a good question. I would say probably the former. I don't know if I believe that he necessarily cares about it happening to her more than it impacting him. So
I will allow you to answer that question for yourself as we go through more of Destiny's pattern of behavior from over the years. In 2012, Destiny shared private nudes of a woman he had been sexting named Blue Tea with...
Wait, what? Another? Again? Wait, what's... What? the fuck?
His friends. Destiny will often claim that the reason for his actions are because he was provoked into doing them and he had no other choice.
I'm kind of being pushed into playing my entire hand.
But here, there was no provocation. He just thought it would be funny to share this woman's private nudes with his friends.
Long story short, Steven leaked nude pictures of me to his Skype friends. He then joked about how fucking hideous my face is compared to my beautiful body. He joked about how I look like Shrek. I do have a big nose, I guess. Is this like confirmed and real? What the fuck? Wait, what is this? Is this just like a pattern of this guy non-consensually sharing pictures of girls? Okay.
And joke about how fucking hideous her face is compared to her beautiful body. And he also insulted her because he thought she looked like Shrek. So he shared a woman's private nudes without consent for the purpose of degrading her. In response, Blue T hacked Destiny's Twitter and tweeted out pictures of his dick.
I guess you kind of deserve that if you're going to do the same thing to her in the first place.
Obviously, I condemn this woman's actions. She posted...
I don't. I mean, listen, talk shit, get hit. If you're going to leak somebody's nudes non-consensually and they do it back to you, you kind of deserve it, no?
Posted revenge porn of Destiny, which is never justified.
It is in this case. I don't give a fuck. if he actually showed porn, if he actually took her pictures and sent them, doesn't matter if it's just to his friends, and then laughed about it without her knowing, like that wasn't okay, which it like almost never is. You know, you don't usually give somebody a nude and go, yeah, you could share this. So he shared pictures with his friends and they ridiculed it. Yeah, I don't care if it's only 3 people. Sucks to suck. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. If the retaliation is disproportionate, okay. It's fucking gross, dude. What the fuck's the matter with you? Who cares? It's nasty, dude. What the fuck are you doing that shit for? You know better.
But don't forget that the situation that provoked this was Destiny maliciously sharing her nudes without her consent. On Reddit, Destiny replied to her by saying, I can't imagine how—
Dangerous road to go down, eye for an eye. I'm not the law, okay? I'm not the fucking law, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I don't give a fuck. All right? I don't care. I really don't. Like, if you walk up to somebody and call them a fucking, like a slur and they hit you, good, you deserve to get hit. The law is going to say you don't deserve to get hit because it's just words. I am not the law. Okay? You're not here. You're not listening to a fucking lawyer react. You're listening to a fucking guy, a normal guy. Okay? And it's respect for respect. There's the legal world, and then there's like the moral world. I understand they're intertwined in some capacity, but you talk shit, you get hit. An eye for eye makes the world blind. I don't care. I'm not fucking cringe. I don't care about stupid sayings. I know that if you're disrespectful to me, I'm gonna hit you, and if I'm disrespectful to someone else, they're gonna hit me. And you want to know what that means? I don't disrespect people. It works really well. It works really well for me. Unless they deserve to be disrespected. Like Pearl Davis. Where the fuck's that scarecrow been? Right? So, just kind of, I'm a little bit more traditional with that perspective, just to be clear. All right?
how you can think that people will never, ever, ever talk about anything personal or private amongst their friends. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I can't see myself caring at all if you shared pictures between your close friends, especially given the fact that I'd never see any of them in real life.
That's just weird. Like, why? Like, it's just an excuse. Yeah, I could share a picture of private nudes to my friends. Like, who's going to find out? Oh, great excuse.
So, in this comment...
Did I ever hit anyone? I don't know. When I was a kid, I got in fights.
Destiny is admitting that he did send the nudes without consent, and he's attempting to downplay his actions.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. Unless people find out about it, he does not care.
A couple years later, when one of Destiny's friends named Bob7 allegedly shared a woman's nudes without her consent, Destiny said that this should be life-destroying.
Bob7 shared nude photographs of multiple women after pressuring one to post one without their consent. But I do believe that these are relatively life-destroying revelations.
But when
That's funny.
Destiny does it, he justifies...
It's not funny. It's just funny that Destiny's own logic is that he should have a life-destroying... This should be life-destroying to him.
...it by saying that he wouldn't care if someone did it to him. This is known as the personal preference fallacy.
We don't want to be cringe about it. I don't give a fuck about the paid terms, okay?
arguing that something isn't wrong simply because you wouldn't care if it was personally done to you. Even if Destiny wouldn't care if someone shared his nudes, which I doubt, that doesn't make it okay for him to do it to someone else. And a couple years later, Destiny demonstrates that he knows that sharing nudes is wrong by laughing at this clip of someone explaining how it's wrong.
The guy sent the nudes to like his buddy, and the buddy sent it to the other buddy, and it just like the whole school had her nudes.
Wow.
Right?
That's cray.
That in and of itself
That's cray.
is another example of like violating consent. Like, even though, you know, for so long we were trained to be like, oh, consent has to do with like, you know, like sex.
Did you guys know that if a bitch breaks up with you and you send her nudes to everybody, even that's wrong, guys?
Him laughing
True.
like this is him sarcastically showing that he obviously understands it's wrong.
Yeah, he's laughing at the concept that this other guy didn't know that. That's what I'm hearing. He's like, how could you be so stupid? That's what the laugh is from.
So I think even
I guess what's worse, not knowing it and then learning it and being like, guys, this is profound, or knowing it and not really caring when it applies to you. I don't know.
even back when Destiny did this, he understood that it was wrong. He's just pretending like he didn't understand that it was wrong to avoid taking accountability for his actions. Destiny has a long history of really not liking when women post about their negative sexual experiences online. Real talk, opening up about quote-unquote your rape and shit on Twitter is incredibly fucking weird and should never have been normalized. I have no idea why the fuck people encourage others to trauma dump on social media. It's insanely unhealthy.
Here's the thing. This is the problem with this, is that like I can agree, but I don't think that I don't think it comes from the same space as Destiny. Destiny seems like somebody who consistently violates women's boundaries, whether it's on stream or off stream or in picture form or who the fuck else. Who knows, honestly, what he's able to hide. I don't. I'm not even saying that he is hiding something. I'm just saying I wouldn't doubt it. From me, I think that we have gotten into kind of this whole feedback loop, this online, really like almost just like trauma economy, where coming forward about assault is almost a good thing to do, and it could be cathartic, or it could add to your trauma about your assault, or you could just be sensationalizing something so that you could get brownie points on the internet, or there's a lot of different ways it could go negatively. I understand expressing a trauma can be very healing, but I think that it's better to express it to somebody in private. That's better, because I think that expressing these things online can become part of your trauma. Imagine being like an 18-year-old and you were like assaulted when you were, you know, younger, or, you know, maybe not so young. You were assaulted, and you go on the internet and you go on TikTok, you're like, this happened to me. And even if you get all positive affirmations, 5 years later, you look back and go, I really wish I didn't share that, because like it's not an intimate moment for me anymore. Now everybody always knows that about me, especially if you became like a big content creator after that. And people always, I know they're always thinking it. It's always in their head. And I know every time they look at me, they're like, I like this content creator a lot. But, you know, and part of it's because they feel bad for me for being assaulted, and I can never live it down. And like, there's a lot of negatives that could come along with that. And I totally understand that. And so like, that's why, like, yeah, I think you should be careful about expressing your traumatic events online, you know, for several different reasons. I just don't think that Destiny thinks that way. I don't think that it's a meaningful, like, hey, here's the problems I have with it. I don't think that he just cares. I don't know. I question the motivation for saying it, and especially I doubt he said it in a way that's meant to be, I'm sure he, excuse me, let me be more clear. I'm sure he said it in a way that's meant to be provocative on Twitter for attention, right?
This was in response to a woman sharing an allegation about how she was stealthed. She was allegedly having sex with the man. She had established the boundary beforehand that he needed to wear a condom during sex, but in the middle of sex, he removed the condom, which is a form of rape.
Yeah, it's wrong. I don't know if it's the most traumatizing thing ever. It doesn't have to be. It's still wrong and it's gross. Like, and a lot of times women will feel pressured to continue to go. Like, you're a dude, when you're doing it with somebody, you're usually like physically more capable. You should respect a woman's wishes to wear a condom, right? In fact, I'll take it a step further. Like, if a woman says like, I'd like to wear a condom, I would say don't try to talk her out of it. Okay. for you, you know, you're the guy with the dick. You probably don't really care. But for women, they're afraid of getting, like, obviously, I mean, everyone's afraid of getting STDs. But I remember when I used to be a fucking degenerate, and I wouldn't want to wear a condom. And, like, I'm going to talk about something that makes me a little upset. I remember my wife, when we first started dating, she's like, oh, I wanted you to wear a condom. I was like, oh, do I have to? And she's like, okay, you don't have to. And then, like, we did it. And then later on, you know, we're in love, and she's like, yeah, that moment made me uncomfortable. I wanted to, but I wanted you to like me still. And so I was like, okay, you could do it. But I was afraid of getting pregnant or an STD or 100 other different things. And I'm a dog, and I'm not worried about these things. And, like, I upset her for that. And that just made me feel like shit. Because when you're a fuckboy, you don't care about things you should care about. And so I just felt like a piece of shit. I should have just respected that wish and not tried to talk her out of it. I wasn't sitting there talking her out of it for like 20 minutes. It wasn't like this big thing, but it was still like shitty and wrong. And like I don't even like talking about it. I just feel like a piece of shit for it, right? You know what I mean? So like this isn't even having the conversation of, oh, it feels better without it. But just like, you don't need to push that boundary. Wear the fucking condom. You're going to last longer anyway, so it'll be better for her. And she'll be in a better mental space for it. For whatever reason, women they care more about the condom than dudes, right? So, you know, just respect that boundary. It makes it mentally more like safe. Like, oh, things are, well, physically more safe, but then mentally more safe. You're like, okay, everybody feels good. You know, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to. It's a shitty realization when you realize that somebody you like a lot, you know, you put them in a situation, even if you didn't realize it, that upset them. It makes you sad, man. Like, talking about it upsets me. So, and I'm not like the fucking victim here. Nobody's a victim, but obviously, like, I'm the asshole in the scenario. But you don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to make other people feel like shit. You don't want to be a dickhead. Sometimes it just takes you a while to understand what makes you an asshole. So, yeah, man, don't stealth girls, but then also wear a fucking condom because it'll make both parties feel better. It's safer for everybody, okay? That's all I'm trying to tell you. All right, it's just some life advice.
I agree with Destiny that sometimes trauma dumping on social media can be unhealthy, but sharing allegations
I think all the time, but
on social media obviously has the possible benefit of holding people accountable for their actions. And putting the words "your rape" in quotation marks obviously implies that he's casting some level of doubt onto her story. It's one thing to wait to see evidence before you fully believe someone's story that they post on social media. It's another thing to instantly cast doubt on their story just because you're annoyed that they decided to post about it on social media.
I think that when it comes to people talking about like a potential scenario of assault, you want to take all factors into it. And like one thing is if somebody comes forward and like, hey, a thing happened to me, I'm usually more charitable than when somebody's like, hey, a thing happened to me and that guy did it. Because when it's just you, you're like, hey, this is my story and here's how it made me feel. It's like, okay, like that's cool. I try not to engage with a lot of these stories online unless I do talk about them in content sometimes. I understand that. But I try not to like read them randomly because you can get like almost like what is it called? Like a secondhand trauma, like a real thing. Reading people's traumatic events. I try to skip past traumatic TikToks and stuff because if you're human, it fucks you up. But when you're just talking about your story and you're focusing on you, like I can totally understand it. Once you accuse someone else, now we have to be like, okay, we need to see more information because it's not just about you anymore. It's also about another person. It gets more complicated. Is this a case of assault? Are you being malicious or are you misinformed because the conversation online about assault is like very poor where sometimes people will equate being uncomfortable with sexual assault. There's so many different like moving parts here. But in general, I just try not to engage with this kind of, because it's just going to be mentally, it could just kind of fuck you up. I saw the girl's story. I also don't know why he would even feel the need to post about it. It's strange. But
this controversy started because Destiny had retweeted someone who tweeted, "If you knew he took off the condom and you couldn't even bring yourself to say anything, you shouldn't be having casual sex." A bunch of people got mad at Destiny for retweeting this, so then he tweeted, "If you are noticing someone is taking a condom off and you can't say anything, you probably don't have the emotional maturity to engage in sex. You should probably just grab a caretaker or something and stick to masturbating to furry porn. Sorry."
Yeah, I don't understand why you would want this to be the time to have this conversation about sex. Like, like, when it comes down to casual sex does require you to set more firm boundaries. In general, I would say you're going to have a better time sexually with a partner that you consistently have sex with. And so when you're able to establish a boundary, and then there's a level of caring about each other, and it's, you know, you're going to have a better time. If you are consistently engaging in casual sex, there's going to be times where there's going to be boundary pushes. And, you know, if you're not, you should be prepared for those. I totally understand. But like, was there a difference in the way that I explained that versus the way that he manufactured this argument to explain it? I'm just trying to have a real conversation with you. If you are going to end up having casual sex, be prepared to set boundaries more firmly than you would have to with somebody else. It just sounds like he wants to he learned something new and wants people to like, oh yeah, you know what? It's just like, where's the productive conversation out of that? He's just trying to trigger people. He's not trying to be sensitive to people who may have been sexually assaulted. Yeah, if selfing is still terrible, absolutely. On the same hand, if you're a person, this is another problem too. Like, if you're somebody engaging with other people in casual sex, respect their boundaries. You should be having at least the same, if not more, energy for the person committing the wrong in this scenario, which in this case is a guy. But I don't remember there being any criticism for the guy in this scenario, being like, hey, here's what you should say is like, hey, everybody should be maintaining boundaries, respectable boundaries. But unfortunately, you're going to have to be prepared to reaffirm your boundaries when you're with somebody in a casual sex scenario. But it didn't seem to be any criticism on the guy there. So that's incredible stuff. But like, again, like, what's the energy? Where's the energy coming from? What's the intentionality of the conversation? Are you trying to educate anybody? No, you're trying to dunk on somebody who's talking about how they were assaulted. Allegedly, I suppose. Like, oh, you did a good one on that.
People got even more mad at this tweet, so then he tweeted, "Sorry, I want to apologize for my last tweet. You should treat every single woman you come across like a retarded child who's incapable of voicing an opinion about literally anything. Ideally, you would bring her dad along to every fuck so he can guide her through the process." Okay. First of all, she did clearly assert her boundaries before sex. She just struggled to reassert her boundaries when this man started raping her because this made her so uncomfortable.
So I just want to be clear. It's not funny what he said. And again, this is more of my interpretation. When I hear somebody's like raping somebody, I see something. And I feel like most people agree with me. You generally picture something a little bit more, like, I guess, more of a traditional, like, violent kind of thing. This still would be a form of that. Taking a condom off, still wrong. I just want to make sure we're in line with what's going on. With what's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sensationalize the energy intentionally or unintentionally or anything like that. But it's still very wrong. Like, it's gross. You shouldn't be doing that. So many thoughts will go through somebody's head. Pregnancy, STDs, XYZ. They're not going to feel safe anymore. It's definitely still wrong. Just throwing it out there. And maybe this is just for me. Maybe I'm pearl clutching. I don't know.
I agree that if you struggle to reassert your boundaries during sex, this could make it more likely that you would end up being harmed during sex. And we should obviously encourage people to assert their...
I think women should carry guns. I think women should carry shark vaginas that bite wieners off if they take condoms off. Fair?
Boundaries during sex as much as they possibly can, but rather...
Is that fair, chat? W's in the chat?
...than show empathy for women who struggle to tell men...
W's in the chat for vagina teeth?
...and to stop because they're so terrified while they're being raped, Destiny decides to insult these women's emotional maturity and call them retarded children.
I actually especially like the point where Destiny was like, yeah, the guy was in the wrong. Yeah, the guy's more in the wrong here. I like the part where he said that. That was my favorite part about it.
According to a neuroscience article in the journal Nature Human Behavior, victims frequently report immobility during rape and sexual assault, often using the term freezing. Neuroscientific evidence suggests fear and threat can block cortical neural circuits for action control, leading to involuntary immobility. And this sort of immobility can manifest as physical immobility or verbal immobility.
I think they have things in, like, what was it, Africa or something, where a woman puts something inside of her and it'll literally shred a guy's dick apart if he rapes her. I think that it's funny. the shredding its dick apart. You shouldn't be doing that. So if it happens to you, it sucks to suck, I guess.
A 2017 Scandinavian study reported that 70% of the 298 women who had visited an emergency clinic within a month of experiencing sexual violence had experienced significant tonic immobility or paralysis when it happened. So when women struggle to reassert their boundaries while they're being raped, this isn't because they're children with no emotional maturity. There are actual neurological reasons for this behavior. When the streamer Hans of Harkir brings up the fact that these women could be having a freeze response when they experience stealthing, Destiny disregards this and says that a victim couldn't possibly have a freeze response just from seeing a man take his condom off.
Freeze up is some shit where you're like in a fucking traumatic situation and somebody's doing some crazy shit. Not like you look down and you see that some asshole is trying to slip a condom off. Like, oh, I'm frozen out. I can't fucking think. I don't take the condom off. I'm fucking completely frozen.
Damn, I remember watching this whole conversation. Why the damn? I'm laughing because of how ashamed of myself I am. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm like older and I like to think I'm a little smarter. But now it's just like, why are you even having this conversation? Why is this content to you? You said something provocative about sexual assault on Twitter and now you're debating somebody about it for content. That is debate pedophilia, right? That's what that would be. Like, I don't understand. Like, what, this is such a weird thing to do. It's just strange when you look at it like that. Like, what is the productivity of what you said? What's the productivity of this conversation other than to communicate to people that you want to make money off of weird debates and then also downplay some form of sexual assault? It's just weird. It's funny. I don't think it's funny, dude. If you're well, when you're like married and respect women, you probably won't think it's funny if that ever happens. Listen, when I think about it, I don't even think about it in a freeze response. Who cares if it's a freeze response or not? I think about it, it's like, oh, you're doing it with a girl and you decide to slip the condom off because you want it to feel better. You're being selfish. And then like you're already doing it and she doesn't like, even if the motivation is she doesn't want to upset the guy that she's with because she likes him. You know, why take advantage of that? I know that sounds like silly. We're not having a legal conversation. We're having a moral conversation. Let's say you're with a girl and you're fucking her and you're wearing a condom and you both agree to wear the condom and then you're like, oh man, this doesn't feel good. So you pull it off mid-fuck and you're fucking her and like she likes you. She might just not say anything because she doesn't want to upset you or ruin her chances. You're like, well, that's stupid. It's stupid that you took the condom off, you fucking loser. You know what I mean? Like, why do that? What happened to men being men? Like, at least my interpretation of it is that you're supposed to, be honest. That's what all the propaganda movies taught us. That's what all the Christian propaganda movies taught us. Okay, guys, men honor promises. That's what Ned Stark taught me. Okay, right? Like that's what happened to the very basic things. I don't know. It doesn't have to be so deep that we talk about trauma responses or freezing responses. Just like, it's just a shitty thing to do. You promised that you would do a thing, and then you decided to renege on that promise very quickly because you're selfish. You decided to be selfish. You decided that you're going to prioritize yourself over another person and also your own honor, as cringe as it might sound. I don't know. It's just dumb.
Bro, what the fuck kind of 14-year-olds are you fucking? No, are you serious?
But according to a 2010 study titled Facing Freeze, Social Threat-Induced Bodily Freeze in Humans, even negative social interactions can trigger a psychological freeze response in some people. The more fear someone is experiencing, the more likely they are to have a freeze response, but even a moderate amount of fear can still induce a psychological freeze response. And seeing someone non-consensually removing their condom during sex after you've established that they need to wear a condom absolutely could cause enough fear to induce a freeze response.
Maybe. Like I said, I don't think it has to get that deep for us to be like, hey, this is wrong.
The way that Destiny chooses to mock these women who claim that they do have a freeze response while being stealthed is just really fucking gross. I don't know what else to say.
It's just strange that this is a conversation you even want to have. Like, there are opinions everybody has, and people, for the most part, will keep them to themselves. You know, because you know that there's probably a time or a place to talk about something specifically. So how much did it mean to you when some woman was talking about how she got stealth, how much does it mean to you to go off about how women aren't mature enough to sleep with men if they can't reaffirm their boundaries? And then I want to know the motivation. Are you saying that because you're sick of people talking about sexual assault in the wrong way on the internet? Or are you saying that because you casually engage sexually with women and you put them in scenarios where they have to constantly reaffirm their boundaries? What's your motivation for what you're saying? It's just, and again, I'm not trying to say that's what he does, but we've seen multiple times where he pushes, he breaks boundaries when it comes to sexual scenarios, at least when it comes to pictures showing. To believe that it stops there. I mean, like, it seems like, I mean, you were grabbing somebody on stream when you knew it was wrong. You're sending pictures of girls to other girls to rizz them up. What else could you possibly be doing? What was the whole point that you decided to bring up? It just, why would you? It's just bizarre. What is your motivation? And how could I ever trust your motivations? Or your, how could I ever trust your credibility when it comes to expressing your motivation? You're somebody who knows what to say. So.
Oh, I'm frozen out! I can't fucking think! I don't take the condom off! I'm fucking completely frozen!
I think this is from the person who is the retarded child. They said, I've actually been raped, and saying no just made him rape me harder. I noticed what happened after he pulled out. This is not incomprehensible that I would just walk away from that situation.
It sounds like she needs to stop having casual sex.
Oh. Damn, why did I support this guy after that? I remember watching that conversation. All right. I'm fucking ashamed of myself, if I'm being honest with you. Jesus Christ. That alone should have been enough for me to like not engage with this guy's content anymore. That should have been it. Okay.
To be clear, I don't think that Destiny is saying it's okay to stealth people, but I do think he is choosing to mock women for something that is outside of their control. Obviously, women do have some level of control over reasserting their boundaries during sex, and we should always encourage people to assert their boundaries as much as possible. But if someone is struggling to reassert their boundaries because of a freeze response when someone is raping them, maybe we shouldn't call them retarded children. After this controversy, the absolutely brilliant trans activist known as Keffels decided to...
It's like a bad picture of her. I don't know why. Her face just looks silly. You didn't actually see that argument when reacting. It's wild. I remember this, but you ended the segment like 10 minutes before that. Wait, really? What the fuck? Well, thank you, August, for the save. Did I? Like, I ended the segment before that? I didn't watch the whole thing? Oh. Huh. Well, you know what? I feel a little better. I guess I don't even know if that's true, but I'm gonna pretend it's true. August, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you so much.
To make a false allegation against Destiny. She claimed that Destiny himself had stealthed a woman.
Oh yeah, meanwhile he stealths people, which is legitimately a form of rape. Insane.
As far as we know, this is totally untrue. Destiny himself has not stealthed a woman. He was just a massive asshole to a woman who was stealthed. To give Keffels credit, she did acknowledge soon after this that she was wrong and Destiny actually didn't stealth anyone.
Wait, I don't know if he did it. Wait, backing up, I don't actually know if he did it.
But Keffels, maybe consider trying to be really sure before you make these types of allegations against people. Destiny is correct that spreading false allegations like this...
I stealthed the priest one time. Opened up with a backstab. World of Warcraft joke. How do you guys like that?
This absolutely does undermine the cause of the left. Making this false allegation against Destiny allowed him to shift his focus onto your false allegation instead of focusing on the fact that he was a massive asshole to this woman who was stealthed.
So true, Queen.
Many of the people who have tried to take down Destiny over the years haven't been the sharpest tools in the shed. Speaking of tools in the shed...
Oh, are you saying that because Keffels doesn't have their wiener anymore, Ryan? Because I'd like to have it. I'd like to add more inches to mine.
Shed, let's talk about the time that Destiny tweeted that he hopes a woman is raped to death with a shovel. In 2015, the porn star Stoya tweeted allegations.
I mean, it is 2015. I guess it's a while ago, but that's horrific.
That the male porn star James Dean had raped her. This tweet really upset Destiny because, as we've established,
did he not do it? I'm so confused.
He really does not like it when women talk about their negative sexual experiences online. Jesus, why not file a fucking police report instead of tweeting this? You're fucking disgusting. What a fucking idiot at Stoya.
Well, if he actually did it, you know. I mean, file a police report. That's my advice, generally speaking, obviously. But if he did actually do it, who cares?
Stephen Bennell, why don't you write
A lot of people have been seeing this tweet out of context, but the context makes it way worse. Wait, what's the context?
Just a long list of everything you feel a survivor of rape should do. Then I'll use it to wipe my ass.
Kind of based.
Survivor of rape. It's rape, not murder, not beheading, not a fatal car crash. Everyone survives rape. Get over yourself.
Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, I understand. Again, I understand this happened 10 years ago. And okay. I don't even really know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't really know how to respond to this. It's just so... this is animal behavior. I don't know how to respond. I'm like floored. I don't even have any emotions. I don't even know what is this. Like, I understand that this was a long time ago that he said this, you know, when he was 25 or whatever. And I understand I used to be edgy too, and I used to be ignorant too. But this is really stupid. Like, I don't understand. This is the only thing that anybody gets out of this is, hey, rape's not so bad. That's it. That's literally what you're supposed to get out of this. That's the only intentionality of saying this. Yeah, this is fucking gross, man. Doesn't really matter when you said this. And okay. Oh, like, wonder how many people will make an excuse for it. So, okay.
Survivor of rape here. Hello. Want to talk about how hard it is to go on every day? Kill yourself so you don't have to live with the pain.
All right. All right. That's cool, man. Jesus Christ.
So, rape survivors should just get over it because at least they didn't die. And if they're dealing with a lot of pain or trauma because of their rape, they should just kill themselves because if they kill themselves, the pain will stop. Very cool, Steven. I have no idea why anyone has ever accused you of being a rape apologist.
I didn't know any of this, and Jesus Christ.
This should go without saying, but obviously it's good for rape survivors to file police reports to hold rapists accountable, but police reports don't always lead to rapists being held accountable for their actions, which is why sometimes it's...
Again, I tend to agree, like, you should go and report these things happening. I obviously agree. And I also understand that the police system is not perfect, and there's going to be times where you're going to get fucked over. Like, that's absolutely real. And it's a traumatic... You're basically reliving your trauma in some instances when you go to the police. But, like, I wouldn't express it like this. If somebody was expressing an assault, I might just move on and not engage with it. I might just be like, listen, like, this should just go to the police and not engage with it. I might even, let's say I decided to tweet, like, hey, you should go to the police. I would have never said any of this. It seems like there's a narrative Destiny wants to push here.
It's good to post about it on social media. At least Destiny will be happy that the woman he allegedly recorded while they were having sex without her knowledge did file a police report against Destiny. Good job, Cherry. You have done things in the Destiny-approved way. Right after this, Destiny got into an argument with another woman about how James Dean didn't respect Stoya's safe word. As Stephen Bennell, ignoring a safe word and not stopping when someone asks is ignoring consent and is rape.
I'm assuming that's what it was. Yeah, that is rape. Yes, that's exactly what that is. That's why people have safe words.
Go fuck yourself. Kill yourself, you fucking cunt. I hope you get raped with a fucking shovel until you bleed out your fucking vag and die.
What the fuck, dude? I don't even want to watch this anymore. This is disgusting.
Holy This right here is probably the most violent, vitriolic language that I have ever seen Destiny use in his entire career on the internet. And it just so happens to be in response to women talking about their negative sexual experiences. My question after seeing all of this is, why does Destiny have such an intense hatred for women talking about their negative sexual experiences on the internet? Is it because...
Sorry, like I'm having a little trouble doing commentary on this. Jesus Christ, sorry. I have some things that I need to say. It's just like I'm fucking I don't want to be like cringe. Like I'm like kind of off now. Like this is a lot. This is kind of disgusting. Sorry. Listen, like I said, if somebody's coming forward with an assault, like yeah, you should go to the police. And you know, there are times where people are lying about an assault or 1,000 different things could be happening. But sitting here and just telling people who, were assaulted or may have been assaulted to take their own life, and that rape really isn't that bad, because murder and car crashes are worse. So it's disgusting. It's fucking gross. Like I don't understand. You could communicate, go to the police without trying to make sure that people who were assaulted feel as horrible about themselves as possible. It's fucking mesmerizing. It's just crazy, man. It's fucking insane.
He just cares so much about these women, and he doesn't want them to harm their own mental health, because trauma dumping on the internet can be really damaging for them. Or is it maybe because a culture where women feel comfortable coming forth with allegations on the internet can lead to women like Pixie and Cherry and Melina coming forth with allegations against people like Destiny, exposing them for being...
That's probably honestly, like I would, that's a safe bet. Like I said, I think that it can add to your trauma, so maybe you don't want to come out with it on the internet. And sometimes it can damage people's reputations who are actually innocent. But I don't think it's unreasonable to say like Destiny might just not women to want to come forward about their negative sexual experiences in general, because he has created plenty of them. I'm not sitting here trying to leverage an accusation or something, but Jesus Christ. I mean, holy fuck. How do you talk about things like this in this way? It's fucking deplorable. I think I owe Hassan an apology. Jesus fuck. I don't think that there could be anything that comes out of Hassan that's even a tenth as bad as this. Well, he did justify Ukrainians being killed by Russians, so I guess that's,
massive pieces of shit. I will again allow you to answer that question for yourself. We'll get back to Destiny treating women like shit a little bit later on, but now...
Yay, can't wait.
Let's pivot to Destiny harming children. For some strange reason, a lot of people like to label Destiny here a pedophile. So
that's true, actual terrorism. Yeah, I guess you're right. Your guys are right. Maybe Hassan is at least just as bad.
So in the next section, we'll get to the bottom of whether or not Mr. Bunnell here really is a certified EDP 445. Is Destiny really a pedo, or are these just false, slanderous allegations meant to try to dethrone the debate?
Age of consent debate. Destiny debates.
Bro King. Let's find out.
Based.
In 2012, when Destiny was 23, he shared in a group chat with a couple of his friends the messages, "You want to see the sickest shit in the world? So many fangirls. I had one that was 15. She wanted to meet and hook up. Dude, she's 15, what the fuck? But she sent me pictures that made it so hard to say no."
All right. Crazy. Okay, I mean, why would you share this information with people? I mean, it's disgusting that this even happened in the first place, but why are you comfortable telling anybody that a 15-year-old girl made you hard when you were a 23-year-old? Like, it's not even the fact that the kid made you hard. It's the fact that you're super comfortable telling people about it. That is frankly the weirdest part. Okay. Cool. Incredible stuff.
Then Destiny linked a picture of this girl in a bikini in the chat and said, "Girl on the left, so hard to say no. Gonna get arrested one of these MLGs, man." So in these logs, when Destiny was
Hey guys, it's just edgy humor, I guess.
23, he said that it was really hard.
Listen, I understand that things were a bit different back then. I can't imagine being 23 years old messaging my friend how hard a 15-year-old makes me. It's fucking crazy.
To turn down hooking up with this 15-year-old because she looked so good in this picture of her in a bikini. He then shared this lewd image of a child with his friends and said that he's gonna get arrested someday. Well, like I said, a woman just filed a police report against Destiny, so we'll just have to wait and see if his prediction comes true. A couple years later, in 2015, when Destiny was 26, he shared in his chat, "I would fuck the shit out of that 15-year-old, what the fuck? There's no way that chick is 15. So now we've seen
Wow, incredible.
in two separate occasions where Destiny says that he's attracted to 15-year-olds. Ironically, this conversation where he's sharing a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini with his friends is the exact same conversation where he also shared that other woman's nudes without her consent.
Wow. So him and his friends get together and they talk about how hot 15-year-olds are and how unattractive adult women are. That's really interesting. Bro, what a bizarre thing to say. Okay, so you're so stupid. Okay, so 15-year-olds looking like they are 19 don't exist. Okay. Incredible defense. So a couple things I'm going to say. One, when I was 15, I probably looked 20. I was a big guy. I'm 6'4" now. I was like over 6 foot when I was probably 16, 14 even, honestly. I was a big guy. That's number one. Number two, I understand that there are underage people who might look like they are not underage. Check this out. This is crazy. When you find out they're underage, mentally, very unattractive. That's how your brain's supposed to work. Also, you probably wouldn't brag about it. Going, hey, look at this 15 made me really hard and I want to fuck her. Kind of strange. You know? Yeah, maybe he's not a pedophile, but this definitely a disgusting pig, right? There's just a lot of different ways that he could have said that. He could have even said, damn, this girl's only 15. Like, that's surprising. I don't know, that wasn't really what his choice of words, though. That's not really, but that's not really what he said. He didn't say, wow, this 15-year-old, I would have thought she was 20. It's he said he wants to fuck the 15-year-old. I mean, I just feel like the words that we use to communicate are probably relevant, huh? It's pretty incredible stuff, but okay.
Sharing non-consensual nudes and sharing a picture of a child in a bikini in one conversation? What a certified Destiny moment.
Okay.
This is what we in the business.
That's crazy.
In one conversation, what
he is looking like a Super Smash Brothers player here. Let's just be real.
A certified Destiny moment. This is what we in the business call a Diddy-stiny party. A common defense
okay.
that Destiny fans will give when he says that he wants to have sex with children is that he's just joking. For example, these tweets where he says, "You were hot at 10? Any pics? Check DMs. Jesus, I've never wanted to bend someone over the hood of their little tyke so bad."
Okay. I mean, I just, it's like that joke by itself is gross, but whatever. But then with the context that he's talking about fucking 15-year-olds, it's just, why make these jokes? I don't, okay.
I do think these tweets are jokes, very...
Absolutely. It's just like, why is there a pattern? Why the fuck is there a pattern?
Strange jokes.
Why is there a pattern? It's like, there's jokes, but why do these jokes have patterns? I don't understand.
But I don't think that him saying he wanted to hook up with this 15-year-old was a joke.
No,
you know
I don't
that
think so
classic
either.
prank where you send your friends pictures of kids in bikinis and say how hot you find them as a joke? And to help...
Oh yeah, me and Ryan do that all the time. Except instead of kids in bikinis, it's just me with my huge balls or something. I don't have a jokes lined up, guys. I'm not in the joking mood. I'm a little sick, and this video is disgusting, so... Okay.
To prove that this wasn't a joke, here are some clips of Destiny doubling down on his attraction to this 15-year-old in a debate with someone named Mr. Medicare.
Okay.
to this chat log, I was talking with a bunch of other esports guys, and we were basically talking about how crazy the fucking jailbait is in the gaming communities. It's ridiculous. I think I said something along the lines of like, there are 15-year-old chicks that are like hot as fuck that will like try to send you pictures to like fuck you at events and shit, and it's like, you have to be really careful when you navigate that. People.
So what is the admitting to jerking off to 15-year-olds then? What is that in relation to?
I never admitted to jerking off. I think I just said like this, I think the log is something like this 15-year-old chick was trying to send me, or was sending me pictures of herself, and she was hot as fuck. It's like really hard to like turn down some of these people. I think
Wait, how old was she?
She said she was 15.
So you did get pictures from a 15-year-old?
Not nudes, though. Sorry, I should specify.
This makes it a lot better, guys.
Like a couple pics of her, like, at the beach or some shit, but,
in swimwear?
Yeah.
So you're getting swimwear pics from 15-year-olds?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. This shit is fucking crazy. Shit is fuck.
So, in these clips...
Okay, interesting, man.
He says that some...
He definitely got very good at debating, and very good at being confident. Okay.
15-year-olds are hot as fuck, and he admits to sharing a picture of this 15-year-old in a bikini to his friends. So
it's just so strange because I don't know what is just so I'm trying to like I'm trying to almost humanize this and be like, okay, how would this play out in my life? So you're sitting down and you're having conversations with people. You're all playing esports together, so like your friends, right? Whatever, the esports thing doesn't matter, and you find it to be such an epidemic that there are hot 15-year-old girls. And I don't even know if their friends are reciprocating in the context or not, or if it's just him talking about it. But either you or you and a bunch of guys are sitting there like, man, there's so many sexy 15-year-old girls. It's so hard to turn these girls down. Like, this is tough stuff, man. That's fucking crazy. But I didn't fuck them. That's good, I guess. But the weird comfortability talking about it in this way. Why is there such a pattern of talking about weird shit so confidently in private chats and then them getting leaked? And he's never changed the narrative here. He's never changed his stance of like, maybe I should keep some shit to myself because it's gross. Block him, move on. You could even make a comment about it. You could be like, dude, there's like a 15-year-old girl that's like sending me shit and she looks like an 18-year-old girl. Like, it's fucked up. I had to block her and move on. You know what I mean? I don't know, but the talk about how hard your dick got, that's crazy. It's wild stuff. It's just fucking, it's just insane. It's just, the general conversation happening about jailbait is different from how he decides to have the conversation, right?
So is Destiny a pedophile? Well, he admitted that he finds some 15-year-olds hot as fuck, and he sent...
Yeah. I mean, listen, technically he wouldn't be a pedophile. They, for all we know, they might look like adults, right? So it wouldn't be pedophilia. It's just disgusting. Like my wife said, he may not be a pedophile, but he's definitely a disgusting fucking pig. I added the disgusting fucking part, but yeah.
Sent his friends a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini because he found her so attractive. A lot of arguments with Destiny about pedophilia end up getting wrapped up in
just boys being boys, am I right, guys?
Semantic debates about labels instead of focusing on the facts of the matter. If you call Destiny a pedo for being attracted to a 15-year-old, he'll launch into a tirade about how pedophilia is the attraction to prepubescent children and 15-year-olds are post-pubescent. So therefore, by calling me
aren't they like mid-pubescent? I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
A pedo, you have slandered me. So then you go, okay, I guess you're not a pedophile, you're an ephebophile because ephebophilia...
Who gives a fuck? It's weird. It's just fucking strange. It's gross. It's just fucking gross, dude. Who gives a fuck what kind of a file you are? File your nails, fire your balls, fucking... File your pedos. Who gives a shit, man? It's weird. It's just bizarre to be 23 talking about how hard 15-year-old girls make you. It's fucking strange. It doesn't matter if it was 15 years ago. All right, I wasn't having the same conversations you were.
Is the attraction to teenagers aged 15 to 19. So then he'll go, no. Ephebophilia is the primary attraction to mid to late adolescents. I'm mostly attracted to adults. I'm just a little bit attracted to children.
There are 15-year-old chicks that are like hot as fuck.
So therefore, I am not an ephebophile and you have slandered me yet again. Also, there's nothing inherently wrong with ephebophilia because 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds fall under the category of ephebophilia and there's nothing...
like a whole fucking debate, pedophile. pedophile thing right now.
Wrong with being attracted to adults, so your normative position condemning ephebophilia in its entirety is already a flawed premise. And even if I was a pedophile, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to children. It's only bad if you act on that attraction. So therefore, you have slandered me in countless ways, and my community will now harass you for years. See how you've now had an exhausting 20-minute debate about labels instead of focusing on the fact that Destiny admitted to being attracted to some children and admitted to acting on that attraction by sending a picture of a child in a bikini to his friends? This is the debate bro way. Crush your opponent through pedantic arguments about semantics so you never have to actually take accountability for your actions. As far as we know,
based alert.
I don't think Destiny falls under the clinical definition of pedophile.
No,
but the colloquial definition of pedophile is someone who is attracted to children, and Destiny is at least somewhat attracted to children.
Fair enough. What else do I say?
There are some 15, 16-year-old chicks that like look pretty fucking hot. Like I can't help that. Like some people mature fucking older.
Destiny defended another streamer who got exposed for having sex with a 14-year-old by saying, even if he did bang a 14-year-old, no, that's not what pedophile means. Go look it up. Seriously, if you don't understand the difference between being attracted to someone that happens to be young and being attracted to someone because they are young, you have absolutely no business whatsoever commenting on the issue, period. It makes you look uneducated.
Why have conversations like that? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, what's the point? If we could sit here and we could have a conversation about what it truly means to be like a pedophile from the clinical term, and we could have an educated conversation about that. But why is he so quick to jump in and like defend people engaging in gross behavior? I don't understand. Is there context? Well, I mean, like, at this point, I mean, there's never context that actually justifies it. There's just enough context for him to make it seem justifiable. This is insane.
I really want to see someone use this argument in court. Your Honor, I didn't have sex with that baby because I'm attracted to babies. I had sex with that baby because it just so happened to be a really hot baby. Most babies are not hot, but everyone.
Okay, it's just ridiculous.
Once in a while, one of those extra special babies rolls their stroller on past my goon cave, and I just can't help myself. But this does not make me a pedophile. You look really uneducated right now. You know what, Destiny? You can feel free to have your pedantic definition of pedophile that only applies to being specifically attracted to prepubescent children because of the fact that they...
Well, again, just to be clear, like, he's not wrong about the definition. It's why is he proposing the definition? He seems to be consistently making weird arguments about attractive underage girls, and then he's whipping out the legal definition to be like, see, it's actually not as bad as you think, right? There's the difference. That's usually when we talk about like what pedophilia is usually in the context of like a very like complicated thing. Like there was that fucking scenario with that Roblox shit where it was like a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old or whatever, and you know, we'll have that conversation then, and then we talk about behavioral issues because that's why like it falls outside of the clinical definition because it's most likely a behavioral issue. And then you find out the parents facilitated the meeting up of the two, and then it's like, okay, it becomes very complicated, right? So like, what's the intentionality of me talking about it? It's to try to have a real conversation. What's the intentionality of him trying to talk about it? Seems to be to run defense for finding children attractive.
They are prepubescent, and I can say that I think you are a freak for saying as a 26-year-old that some 15-year-olds are hot as fuck, and for as a 23-year-old sharing around a picture of a 15-year-old in a bikini. Deal? The next child-related destiny.
16, 12. Yeah, right. Okay. So it was like fucking, it was like weird. It's like 3.5 years. So yeah, true though. You're right.
The incident is when him and his friends, the Bro Squad, watched an 8-year-old boy shake his penis for them on a live stream.
I remember this. Talking about this.
I shouldn't tell this because I'm gonna get fucking arrested. Or Child Protective Services. I used to be part of this horrible thing called the Bro Squad, okay? Fucking me, if you remember that fucking Cheeks bitch, and fucking a couple other people that have never been on my stream before, we're part of the Bro Squad, and what we would do is we would go around Justin TV streams, trolling the shit out of these people. And we went around from fucking channel to channel, like fucking around. Like it was just horrible shit. We went to this channel with this fucking like, this kid was like 8 years old, and he was fucking broing out with everybody in this chat. And for whatever fucking reason, this kid decides to fucking take his pants off and fucking wiggle his 8-year-old dick on stream. can't even believe it. Oh my fucking god. It was like, I didn't even know, like, we were on Skype, we were like, holy shit. Like, we had to do like a double take because we didn't even fucking know, like, what the fuck was on. Like, we were looking at like an 8-year-old dick, like, on the fucking screen. And his fucking brother, we called him Captain Push-Ups, would like come in the room. And this guy was like fucking 14 years old. He had his shirt off and he was like this. Like watching the stream the entire time and shit. Oh my god.
As far as what Destiny says...
Yeah, I remember seeing that before. I mean, by itself, I was like, yeah, this seems like a really immature, like, shitty thing. He didn't ask for the kid to do blah, 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 blah. At this point, I just don't care to run any defense for it because it's just like, there's a pattern of behavior here. And it's just immature, gross behavior.
In this clip, they didn't ask the child to pull his pants down, but I still think it's very bad that him and his bro squad didn't immediately click off of this live stream the second that this child exposed himself.
True.
If a child exposes themselves to you, I think you have a moral responsibility to immediately click away from that shit. But I guess Destiny and his bro squad thought it was really funny to sit and laugh while staring at an 8-year-old's penis. Next, a couple years later,
I guess that might be the case, yeah.
Destiny planned to kill a kid. Apparently, this kid was DDoSing Destiny's website. DDoSing is when you overwhelm a website with fake internet traffic, causing it to shut down. And because Destiny's website was shut down, he was no longer able to make money from it.
Oh, I did troll the shit out of the DDoS kid. That's a guy...
I'd be pretty pissed about that, to be honest with you.
That's one of the people, like, legitimately, like, I was so... You have no... Like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family.
Wow, okay. That's fucking insane.
Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most...
Why?
Fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing
Why even say this? Why think this and why say this? I'm going to be honest with you. If I had a website and somebody was DDoSing it, I would be really pissed. And I might want to do something to stop it. But the thing you were going to do is get a bunch of people to go down to the house and kill his whole family. You know? If you had said go to his house and like throw a rock through his window to scare him so he'd stop, you know what? I get it. But go to his house and kill him? Like, what the fuck? And his family? And this isn't even in the heat of the moment anymore. This thing had happened before, and now he's recalling this event without shame for some reason. I don't understand. There's just a lack of shame when it comes to Destiny.
But I was making
lots of missing context. What's the missing context?
So much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of... Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address.
He tried everything. He contacted the FBI. Okay.
I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you had no fucking idea. That's when I first started getting an interest in like owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything.
Destiny...
Jesus Christ, how old was this kid? Oh yeah, he just said that. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely an inside thought. Just keep that inside. He tried to even talk to his dad. All right. I think I'm still uncomfortable with him talking about killing somebody's entire family. He was 16. All right. It's still a kid, but not really a kid, you know. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, if the full context, this doesn't invalidate all the other disgusting shit, but if the full context is that the 16-year-old was DDoSing him to the point where he was losing significant money every day, he reached out to the FBI, they didn't stop it. He reached out to the police, they didn't stop it. He reached out to the dad didn't stop it. He reached out to the mom or whatever, and they didn't stop it. He reached out to the kid and said, you need to stop, and the kid didn't stop it. I don't know. Okay. You know? I mean, he would never be able to take him to civil court. What is he going to do? The kid's probably not going to be able to afford to give him the amount of money that he had. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay out of this one. But it's fucking crazy to say that.
Obviously never went through with killing this kid, but the fact that he legitimately planned to kill him is unhinged.
Were you really considering it? Yeah, of course. It's actually kind of scary, like how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. How old was the kid in relation to you? I think the kid was probably 16. I think I was 22.
Destiny has defended this to this day, saying that if someone is stopping you from making money, this justifies killing them, even if they're a child.
Maybe. I don't know. Again, the killing is insane. Why not go there and threaten them? But listen, I don't know the full context of this one. Only reason I'm saying is like I I can understand somebody, like, let's say that there was just some kid right now stopping me from being able to like work and make money for myself and my family. And by the way, in this scenario, I actually would care about my family, just to be clear. So there's more on the line for me. And I tried to go to the cops and the FBI, and I even talked to the parents, and the kid be like, "You need to stop this. This is going too far," and nobody listened. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. You know, I gotta live. So you know what? If that is the context, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So maybe I'm being too charitable, Destiny, on that one. But okay.
If you came outside every single day and some guy was slashing your tires and he wouldn't stop and you called the police and nobody wanted to do anything, despite having proof for it, you're like, well, I'm gonna have to attack this dude and maybe even kill him. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Just wouldn't say that out loud.
Obviously, I agree that someone maliciously taking away your primary source of income is incredibly bad, but I think there are a lot of other possible avenues you could explore before jumping to the nuclear option of shooting a child. As much as it obviously sucks to lose your income, I think if you need to choose between killing a child in cold blood and
what the fuck is this?
Losing your Twitch revenue, you're just gonna need to put the fries in the bag and get a new job.
Listen, this is my whole. Listen, here's the thing. This is my whole life, my YouTube revenue and my TikTok revenue. If somebody was taking it away just to fuck with me, I don't know. Although I guess this is the real question too. What the fuck? Why did the kid do it? Did the kid ever tell us why? Did he have a 15-year-old sister that Destiny jerked off to or something? Because then maybe the plot thickens. You know, maybe the plot thickens. You know, maybe the plot thickens. Oh. Maybe the plot thickens, bro. I need money, dude. Fuck. I need to live. Okay.
The next child-related Destiny incident is when he encouraged.
Oh, we thought it was funny. Okay. Well, maybe it was. I don't know.
An infamous lolly or drawn CP artist.
Oh, sorry. We went from fucking shooting kids to lolly. This is crazy.
Destiny.
Papa, I'm gonna take your monthly revenue of $2.50. No more monthly dollar revenue, dude. You're still on $2.50. Yeah, you're right. I make $2.50. That's so true, King.
Incident is when he encouraged an infamous lolly or drawn CP artist to draw a picture of his 6-year-old child. This artist is a man named Shadman. You might recognize Shadman.
Wait, hold on.
Bag and get a new job. The next child-related Destiny incident is when he encouraged an infamous lolly or drawn CP artist to draw a picture of his 6-year-old child. This
What do you mean?
Artist is a man named Shadman. You might recognize Shadman from the recent controversy with Ava Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast, who was a really big fan of Shadman's work. Shadman has a long history of drawing pornographic images of actual children, including Keemstar's daughter. And because Destiny was aware of this, he encouraged Shadman to draw a pornographic image of his 6-year-old son.
Why?
This controversy started because Destiny had been insulting the YouTube animation community. In response, Shadman made this drawing of Destiny to make fun of him, so Destiny then responded to Shadman by tweeting, "Hey @Shadbase, if drawing fan art of me is a tad uncomfortable, you could try drawing my son."
I think that he's just fucking with this guy. Just to be clear, this one doesn't seem to be a good criticism. He shouldn't be saying this. It's irresponsible, but I think it's more of like, a knock at the guy, not like actually draw my son.
He's only 6, so it should be easier for you.
I think this is him just trying to. It's still wrong, but I think that this is him trying to be like, hey, oh, you draw art of me? Well, usually you like to draw art of kids. Maybe that would be more comfortable for you. Kind of like calling him a,
To try to be good faith to Destiny, this tweet was obviously a joke, and he didn't actually want Shadman to draw a picture of his son. However, I still think that goading a known CP artist into
I wouldn't have added this into the video personally.
To drawing CP of your own son is incredibly irresponsible. Because imagine if Shadman took him up on his request and did go ahead and make the drawing in the same way he had drawn Keemstar's daughter. Then, Destiny's son would have had to deal with the fact that there would be drawn CP of him floating around
He's 6 years old in 2017. So what are we, 2025? Like 7 or 8 years later? The kid's like 13 or 14, Jesus.
The internet for the rest of his life. If there was a known child murder...
I think that the only real criticism I have is that like you should only be able to make jokes like this if you live in the same town as your kid. Instead of Florida, for as much money as possible and to be around women. You know, that's the only criticism I would make.
And you decided to tweet at that child murderer, "Hey, how about you come murder my child, LOL." I think we would all...
But yeah, I would have kept this point out of the video. I don't think it helps you. It's a little irresponsible. It is irresponsible, but it's like not... It was not worth even bringing into the video, honestly.
I'll agree that that would be incredibly irresponsible, even if that was just a joke. In the same way, I think it's incredibly irresponsible to encourage a known CP artist to draw CP of your child, even if it's just a joke. Thankfully, Shadman did not end up drawing Destiny's child like he had drawn Keemstar's child, and Destiny got to have fun making his little joke.
What a great comeback.
Even though this joke could have come at the expense of his 6-year-old son's safety. Even though a lot of these situations involving children...
I don't know if it would have made him unsafe. It's just gross and disgusting, so...
happened quite a while ago. I still think Destiny has been spreading harmful rhetoric around children even quite recently. A couple years ago, Destiny said that a 30-year-old randomly sexting a 14-year-old would not be grooming.
Let's say there's a person that's like 30 years old and tries to like randomly sext like 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming.
So
probably not. I don't know the full context of like the conversation, you know, like I had said, because I'll say things not like that exactly, but when we have a conversation about grooming is like the methodical process of setting up a child for sexual exploitation. And then there is the act of like taking advantage of the child, right? Like assaulting the child, basically. Those are two different things. So just sexting the kid isn't necessarily grooming, right? Technically. So it depends on like what the conversation is when he's having the conversation. I don't think he's saying it's good to groom children, just to be clear.
So that clip sounds pretty bad.
Is that by legal definition? It's illegal anyway, but I think that's the point. But
bad, right?
Okay.
But we don't want to approach Destiny in bad faith or take him out of context, so let's try to understand the actual argument that Destiny is making.
That wouldn't be, I don't think that would be considered grooming. Now, let's say there's a person that's 30 years old and they're specifically seeking out like 14, 15-year-olds to kind of just like talk to them about their school life, figure out what their problems are, you know, be cool because you're old and you have experience, and then you kind of weasel in like sex talk. That's like grooming, right? That would be like grooming.
So Destiny's argument is that a 30-year-old randomly sexting a 14-year-old isn't grooming, but if a 30-year-old tries to weasel their way into a 14-year-old's...
Well, I don't know, because I'm just like, grooming is when a person builds a relationship with a child, a younger person or an adult who's at risk so that they can abuse them and manipulate them to doing things. So like just going into the sexting, I guess technically wouldn't be grooming. I would question like, why is Destiny talking about this like this?
Life and slowly manipulate them into sexting them, this would be grooming. But this argument goes against the definition of grooming. The definition of grooming is the action of attempting to form a relationship with a child or young person with the intention of sexually assaulting them or inducing them to commit an illegal act. Guess what, Destiny? Nowhere in that definition does it say that grooming has to be a slow process. Grooming is just...
I don't think that this part of the video helps either.
Forming a relationship with a child for the purpose of sex. A lot of times grooming is a slow process because they have to slowly break down the child.
Sexting's worse. I guess it's not. Well, okay. So what I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but is that this is a conversation about grooming and abuse of children. I don't think, unless Destiny's point, and I doubt it is, unless Destiny's point is it's okay to groom kids, it doesn't really help the video. Because I think I think, and I could be wrong, I think Destiny's just trying to distinguish between, like the actual method of grooming versus like the actual abuse, which would be the sexting. And I think that is he's saying is it's wrong, obviously, but it's not technically grooming. I don't know the greater conversation. Like all the other points up to this point are like slam dunks. I don't know if this one necessarily helps the video.
child's boundaries in order to get them to have a sexual relationship with them, but sometimes grooming can happen very quickly. For example, in situations where the child already has some established level of trust with the person who is grooming them. In this clip, Destiny is talking about influencers who sext their underage fans and saying that these influencers sexting their fans wouldn't necessarily be grooming because grooming is a slow process. The reason that influencers are often able to groom their fans so quickly is because their fans already have an established parasocial relationship with the influencer.
Sure. I guess my next question would be like, what's the tone of the video? Is he saying it's not grooming to downplay it, or is he saying, well, it's not technically grooming, it's still disgusting and wrong though? But okay.
If a teacher wants to groom a student, this usually happens more slowly.
Shit, let me tell you something. I wish my teacher, Ms. Dorset, groomed me. I'm sorry. I talk about Miss Dorset too much. So run-on joke, probably not appropriate for this video.
Because the teacher doesn't have a pre-established relationship with the student. But because influencers already have a parasocial relationship with their fans, grooming can occur much more quickly. Maybe Destiny's argument is that the very first time you sext a 14-year-old, this wouldn't be grooming yet because you haven't established a relationship with them yet, but
your brain broken. You're literally just a babe bro brain and saying sexing a 14-year-old at twice their age. What? You're actually fucking insane. You gotta relax, bud. That's not. Chill the fuck out. Okay, when we're talking about these things and criticizing Destiny, like there's an intentionality conversation here. Okay, I don't know the entire conversation. I haven't seen it. I don't know the specifics. If he's just distinguishing between the abuse of a child and the grooming, which is the build-up to the abuse, fine. I don't care. Like, it's not something, even if Destiny's wrong, the undertone isn't that it's okay to groom children. That's the point that I'm making. All right. I doubt Destiny's trying to, and maybe he is. I doubt Destiny's trying to run defense for grooming kids. Everything before this was disgusting shit that comes that shows that Destiny does not care about what he talks about, and he's actually a disgusting fucking animal. But this point, I don't think lends to the video or its credibility. That's literally it. So, but you guys are fucking crazy. Some of you guys are a little too worked up, going fucking crazy. Okay.
But this is still a stupid argument because in this context, randomly sexting a
I can't see what the difference is. I mean, I maybe that's like where I don't know. Like sometimes when we're talking about exploitation of children in a conversation, like I'll be very careful about. In my opinion, grooming and molesting a child is worse than just molesting a child. I guess when we're having like these very delicate conversations, grooming is a very manipulative and methodical process. Molesting a child is also very wrong. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the difference doesn't matter, but I guess it's the intentionality that matters. Like, what do you think the intentionality is when somebody has that conversation? Are they trying to say that grooming is okay, or are they just trying? Maybe they think that they're smarter than they are. Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm really fucking stupid. I don't know. Maybe it is a little debate brand, but I'm looking at the intentionality. Destiny likes to be right about things, so maybe that's probably where it was come from, even though he doesn't really believe in a lot of things that he says. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know if this particular issue or this particular conversation is necessarily an indicative of him being a bad person. If that makes sense.
14-year-old for the first time would be the first step in attempting to groom them. You're acting like everyone else is so stupid for not understanding grooming while you don't understand grooming. Destiny would claim that he just cares about definitional specificity, but the specific definitions you're promoting aren't even accurate. I'm not saying that Destiny is making this argument.
Sorry, I laughed at somebody say molestany. I haven't seen that one specifically yet. Sorry.
Because he wants to groom children, but when you combine him saying that some 15-year-olds are hot as fuck, with him sharing around pictures of 15-year-olds in bikinis, with him saying that 30-year-olds sexting 14-year-olds isn't necessarily grooming, it starts to paint a very strange picture. Destiny also got really mad that people were labeling Drake a pedophile. He even had a debate about why it's totally
I remember watching that debate.
Fine.
I remember watching that debate. And I don't know if Drake's a groomer, Seemed like his relation with Millie Bobby Brown is very bizarre. It might be more of like a, hey, I'm an actor, I'll try to help you out being an actor type of a thing. I don't know if there's necessarily anything in there that makes him a bad guy. But now thinking about it, I would have to revisit the entire thing because I remember like engaging and like seeing some of the points Destiny made and being like, oh, that's a good point. And I don't feel confident in that anymore. Like, if that makes sense, I don't feel confident enough. I would need to independently review the information and be like, okay, what is my, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, dude? I got to question the source of the information.
For Millie Bobby Brown at 14 to be texting Drake about relationship advice.
When you say he's texting her and he wants to...
I feel like that by itself is not like the worst thing. Isn't it like multiple different young people though? It's not just like one person. You know, like I get a whole mentor type of thing. Like, oh, I'm a fucking actor. I can help you be an actor, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. And then she's like, oh, I have a crush on a boy. And he's like, oh, okay. You know, I don't know how... I don't think the intentions are necessarily, from what I remember, were necessarily he was trying to exploit her. But I think it's more that there's more than one. No? Wasn't it that there was multiple? It wasn't just her.
To give her dating advice. What if she's the one that brought it up first? Should he say something like, I'm sorry, but it's inappropriate for me to talk to you about high school boys? Or what? Like, what?
Yeah. You do it all the time. When some young person comes up to you and starts saying some weird stuff, you just sit there with this 13-year-old and then you start having conversations extended.
You'd be like, hey, talk to your dad about that.
About dating?
Yeah, I have before. What do you mean? No, would I tell if a young person came up to me and they were asking me questions about some like boy problems or some shit? Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, of course. What do you mean about...
I'd probably say talk to your mom or your dad. Yeah.
35-year-old man, of course I'm going to have better advice for them than some fucking random high school person. Yeah, of course.
Why wouldn't you just tell them to talk to their own parents?
If a 15-year-old girl came up to me and she's like, there's some weird shit going on with a boy in my high school, I'd say, oh, no, don't talk to me, honey. Go ask another 15-year-old boy or ask
your mom?
Your fucking mom and dad who are going to...
Why is mom dumb?
...to tell you to never talk to any boys ever? No, what the fuck?
Hold up.
What?
Do you think you should be talking to them about sex?
It depends on the context. I don't give a f***. What do you mean? If a 15-year-old asks me and she's like, I think I'm going to f*** this...
Yeah, I feel like... Yeah, I'm thinking back. I don't know if I said the same things. I'm thinking that, like, obviously, if a random 13-year-old came up to me and asked me advice, or a fan, or anybody outside my family, I'd say, go fuck off, right? Hey, go talk to your parents. You know, if I had like a 13-year-old cousin that asked me girl advice, I'd probably give the 13-year-old cousin girl advice, right? Like if it's a 13, because it's my cousin, right? It's a family member. So I feel like that's probably appropriate, depending on what, oh, I have a crush on a girl in school. Okay, like we could talk about that. If it's a 13-year-old that I see at a fucking Nathan's, I'm craving hot dogs, I'd say go fuck yourself. No, I wouldn't say that's gross. I'd say go away, right? Because that's weird. Talk to your mom, right? Yeah, why is he so heated? What the fuck?
This guy at school unprotected? Yeah, I'd probably say, bro, you're 15. Don't destroy your life. Make sure you guys are using protection. What the fuck? Why would I not say this?
Okay, and do you think that most parents finding out that you're talking to their kids about sex and giving them advice, do you think they would take it well?
I don't know. I don't give a f***. They should be talking to their own kids about it.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. Didn't you just say, but you could have sent them to talk to their kids about, and you said that they were dumb. Okay.
So apparently Destiny has given children relationship advice in the past. Destiny is famously really great at relationships, so
True.
I'm sure these children really appreciated his sage words of wisdom.
Yeah. That's kind of true. You know the meme where it's like the friend who isn't in a relationship gives the best relationship advice, which is probably not true. It's like the friend that's constantly in a ton of bad relationships gives the best relationship advice, guys.
But if there's one thing that nobody would ever say about Destiny, is that he makes good personal life dating decisions.
Destiny also says that he thinks he would give better relationship advice than a child's parents, and that he would give a child sex advice even if this would upset the child's parents.
Super base.
Who cares if parents don't want you to talk to their kids about sex? Destiny understands your kids better than you do.
Let me tell you, if somebody on Twitter clips this and I don't know, dude. That's pretty fucked for Destiny. I mean, not that he'll care, but like the conservatives could definitely eat this up. A lot of these things that are being said right now.
Destiny, you're a rule utilitarian, right? You believe that we should establish moral rules based on what generally leads to the least amount of harm.
Yeah, I'm not fucking cringe, so I don't use words like that.
You don't think that it would be good to establish a general rule that it's not safe for 31-year-olds like Drake to be texting 14-year-olds like Millie Bobby Brown about their relationships?
That's
of
probably
course,
fair,
there
yeah.
can be hypothetical situations where this isn't harmful and the adult actually does have good intentions, but in general,
Yeah. I mean, I guess that could be true, sure.
I don't think it's safe for children to be having these sorts of private conversations with adults. And I think it is totally reasonable to side-eye Drake for having these sorts of conversations with Millie Bobby Brown, especially because he kissed a child on stage.
How old are you? Oh, I can't go to jail yet, man. 17? Why do you look like that?
Damn, these are so bad. Fuck. Ah, damn. I was going to say, at least they're just cheek kisses, but goes for the lips, dude. Fuck.
Now, is Drake a pedophile? Well, like I said, he kissed a child on stage, but...
Well, in Drake's defense, he was in a wheelchair for a long time, so he doesn't really understand what's going on in his wiener area. He doesn't know how to cope with those skills. Sorry. It's inappropriate. I don't know, man. Fucking Drake's a fucking weirdo.
Destiny would probably explain that this child was post-pubescent, not prepubescent, and kissing one child doesn't prove that he has a primary attraction to children, so therefore, we don't have enough evidence to label Drake a pedophile. Oh god, can you see how
I
exhausting?
don't know, man. I feel like, damn, I can't listen to Drake's music anymore, guys. Like Rockin' Around the Clock. It's my favorite song.
This is. Some people actually enjoy to listen to this shit day in and day out on Destiny's stream. Maybe Destiny just really wants to show Drake good faith because Drake has dropped so many bangers over the years. Or maybe he's defending Drake because...
Hey, you know what? Listen, a lot of people said when Kanye came out against my peoples, the Jews, they said he dropped Graduation. And then I listened to Graduation, and I was like... He gets the K pass, if you know what I'm saying, fellow Jews. Because it actually, Graduation is good as fuck. The thing is I don't think Drake has released something Graduation level to be able to justify his bizarre antics, we'll just say.
As he sees himself in Drake because of his own personal relationships with young people. Enter Rose is Coming.
Okay, so just transition's interesting.
Destiny's 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten. A couple years ago, Destiny was simultaneously married to a woman named Melina while having an affair on Melina with a white nationalist woman named Lauren Southern and sexting this 19-year-old e-girl named Rose is Coming on the side.
So I think he wasn't supposed to be talking to the white nationalists, but he was he wasn't in an open relationship and allowed to do other stuff. I don't remember the specific boundaries.
Destiny was in an open marriage with Melina, but he still managed to have an affair with Melina because he didn't tell her about his relationship with Lauren Southern, and he
Right, that was the thing. They were supposed to tell him about it.
also violated his wife's consent by sending her sex tapes to this 19-year-old e-girl without asking her. Nothing has happened with consent. I guess having...
How the fuck do you cheat in an open relationship? That's crazy. It's like advanced levels of fucking degenerate loserness, dude. I don't get it.
An open relationship just wasn't enough for Destiny. Even though he was already free to sleep with other people, he still had to figure out some way to fuck over his wife. Anyway, while Destiny was sexting this 19-year-old, he asked her if she wanted to do age play, which is where you role play as being even younger. She was already 15 years younger than him, but you know, why not add on another 5 or 10 years for good measure? According to
Damn.
years younger than, which is where you...
How do you feel about age play stuff?
You know, why not add on another 5 or 10 years for good measure? According to Destiny himself, he views sexting 19-year-olds as the same as sexting 15-year-olds.
When you're 19, you're a little kid, okay? Now, if you're 22, a 19-year-old's not a kid to you, okay? I'm 29. A 19-year-old might as well be a 15-year-old to me. It's all the fucking same, dude. Don't give me this fucking, just because of some legal age of consent, whatever bullshit, I have about as much in common with like an 18-year-old, 19-year-old fucking freshman in school as I would a fucking sophomore in high school. Any type of inclination towards any of those people is really fucking weird. If you live with your mom and dad still pay all of your bills, you're still a virgin, you've never been in a relationship, you don't go to school, you've never even had a job before, you've never lived on your own, you're a child. You're very much a child.
So,
You know, here's all I'll say, guys. You have to have a good memory if you lie all the time. That's all I have to say. You have to have a good memory if you lie all the time. So, I'm assuming in that conversation he was morally grandstanding over somebody about how he doesn't actually want to fuck young people, and then he gets older and wants to fuck younger people. Listen, I'm 34, so like, yeah, 19 is like a kid to me. Obviously, it's different from a fucking 15-year-old. You're much different. 19-year-old is much more mature, but you're still too young for me. You know, it's weird if you want to like, if you want to fuck a 19-year-old at like 30, like whatever. You want to marry one, I find that bizarre because like, what do you have in common with them? I don't understand. I'd rather marry somebody that you can respect because they actually have things like emotional maturity. What the fuck? The fuck is happening? This video is weird. What the fuck? This guy's such a weirdo. He's a fucking creep, dude. He just says things to sound right. He never believed that. Get the fuck out of here.
Destiny views
13. He's 23 years old talking about how hard he gets to 15-year-old girls. Then he's 29 and is no longer attracted to anybody under 24 or something. But then now he's 35 and he's marrying 19-year-olds. I don't understand what's happening.
19-year-olds as little kids.
You're a little kid.
And says that being attracted to them is really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird.
What's the context missing, you think, at this point? Is what he's saying not true? Is he mocking somebody else for saying that? What's the context that you feel is missing? You're acting like you wouldn't do a 19-year-old girl. You're weird. I'm not. Well, first of all, I'm married. I wouldn't do a 19-year-old girl. Second of all, like I've jerked off to 19-year-old girls. I don't explicitly seek out 19-year-old girls. But I also don't say that 19-year-old girls are the same mentally as 15-year-old girls and then proceed to fuck 19-year-old girls. I feel like you're the one that's weird for not keeping that context in mind. All right? It's one thing to fuck a 19-year-old. It's another thing to say 19-year-olds and 15-year-olds are the same and then fuck them. Like, I don't understand. Like, how is that not different to you? It's very strange. Behavior is weird as fuck. It's all like, why even make these points? I don't understand.
Yet here he is 5 years later at age 34, sexting this 19-year-old, asking her if she wants to do age play with him, and sending her non-consensual sex tapes of his friends and wife.
Listen, dude, that's very bizarre. Also, why are you saying these things that could come out? Like, you're 34. You have a wife. Talk to your wife about age play. You know, I don't care. As long as it's consensual, I don't really give too much of a fuck. But you're talking to random girls about doing age play and shit, and you're bringing it up. How soon into the conversation? Like, what does the age play look like? Maybe he wants to fuck grannies? I don't know. Obviously not. It's probably not the case. So comfortable expressing these to people you barely know. That's what's so fucking bizarre. I don't know.
And honestly, it doesn't even matter what my opinion is of this. In Destiny's own words, he thinks this is really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird.
So, is Destiny a pedophile? I don't really give a fuck what you label him. I choose to label him a freak. Only freaks engage in the type of degenerate behavior that Destiny has engaged in. I don't give a fuck about semantic debates about the technical clinical definition of pedophilia. If you send pictures of a 15-year-old in a bikini to your friends and talk about how hot they are, you are a freak. Let's finish out the video by talking about Destiny's treatment towards women in more recent years. A little while ago, Destiny admitted—
Who's Maurice?
that he was psychologically abusive towards his ex-wife.
Age play is weird schooner shit. Yeah, I agree, bro. But like, keep it in the bed with like your fucking spouse or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't give a fuck if you and your consenting adult spouse want to wear diapers and shit your pants. And I don't fucking care. It's just strange how open he is to tell it to people he seems to not really know very well.
This is probably just going to be Melina venting about her relationship with me to Bob. Listen. Okay, I've said it a million times. I'm a very fucking hard person to date.
I work a fuck ton and I'm very fucking cold. I have a really hard time dealing with people when they get emotional, okay? But if Melina starts crying or we're having an argument, I'll say like, listen, I'm gonna go play fucking Minecraft. Like, come talk to me when you're done crying, because I can't sit here and listen to you cry. I'm wasting the few fucking minutes of free time I have in the day. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you cry doing it. Like, so
Yeah, this is not an excuse. Like, listen, I could be very difficult to be with too. I understand that. There's a difference between being like, hey, listen, and I used to work a lot. I don't really as much anymore. I mean, I've been working more to try to get my shit in a good spot, which has been working. But like, the point that I'm making is that like, we'll use like 30-year-old me or 28-year-old me back when I worked in many instances 2 jobs, right? I worked a lot too, understandable, and I had relationships. Wasn't the easiest to get along with. I could be very strict and stern and very specific about how I want things to get done. I have like ADHD, and I was raised in a very almost very strict way to try to overcome my behavioral issues from my mother. I had like a Vietnam War vet scoutmaster who was very involved, like playing a father figure to me for many years. I understand it being difficult to be with. The specific thing that bothers me is I don't have time to deal with your emotional problems. I'm going to go play a video game by myself. One, you play video games on your stream, especially at this time. He was playing a lot of games on a stream, so like that's just stupid for you to say. But like, you don't get to have relationships, the good parts of relationships, and then not have the bad parts. Don't get into a marriage if you're not emotionally mature enough to deal with your partner's mental issues or particular issues. You just being like, I'm just going to check out, deal with your problems. That's just immature and childish. And he knows that. So like, what's the, I don't understand. It's okay to be difficult to be with. It's okay to be very work focused. I understand that. But specifically when she's having emotional issues for whatever reason, whether it's you or something else, being like, oh, deal with it yourself. I'm going to go do something else. It's childish. It's pathetic. It's not an excuse, but well, I'm just a horrible partner. You're obviously a selfish person who doesn't respect anybody on the same level that you respect yourself. So that's why he'll never make any meaningful change, because he doesn't care about what people have to say about him, because he doesn't respect anybody to the same as himself. That's what makes him a weak man. Not having somebody that he respects as much, if not more than himself, to help guide him through life. Nobody can be perfect by themselves. You need somebody to help guide you through life. Right? That's what usually people call a marriage, but usually it helps to not marry people who are much younger than you with less life experience, who don't have as much money, who you don't respect as much. What's the point of marrying them other than to have some eye candy? It's why it helps to marry somebody around your age that's a professional with a career that's as intelligent as you are. That's typically is what helps to do. I don't talk about it a lot. You can say it's as cringe as you want, but that's my dynamic with my wife. I respect my wife more than I respect myself. My wife respects me more than she respects herself. That's why we do well together. Because there's going to be always times where myself or her, but there's times where I'm wrong about something and I don't understand why I'm wrong. And my wife is telling me that I'm wrong, and I trust her, so I listen to her while I try to process the information. That's pretty much it. So, but okay.
Anybody that survives a relationship with me for more than like 6 months, okay, props to that person, because they're going through some severe fucking psychological abuse, all right? It's a fucking hard thing to deal with. I'm not joking.
Maybe Destiny's fans would claim that he was being hyperbolic here and he wasn't actually admitting to being abusive.
Well, he just doesn't care. He's just a piece of shit. And like, yeah, the girls should probably know that, but it's always young. He's always going after younger women who aren't going to truly understand what a piece of shit is. So like, if you tell a 30-year-old like, oh, I'm a real piece of shit in a relationship, they're gonna be like, okay, I know what that looks like. I'm 30. I've dated that before. Tell a 19-year-old that, they're like, oh, like they don't know shit. They're fucking dumb. They don't have any life experience. That's why different words mean different things to different people.
But here's his best friend Dan also saying that Destiny was really shitty towards his ex-wife.
I'll say this also. I think Steven was a fucking really shitty husband to Melina.
So
okay, I'm coming out here saying it right now. I don't think Steve would deny it either. But
isn't this him? What the fuck? Isn't this him saying this after all the shit came out? This is more of like, yeah, I know he's a bad guy, but isn't that what this context is of this?
It's not good the way that he was. Like, I talked with Melina a lot of times, and she was crying and miserable and everything else. And Steve would say, "What do you want me to say? I'm a selfish motherfucker. That's why I'm in the relationship that I'm in, the way that I do things that I'm in." And Melina like really was hurt by it. And I think like she was like, what should I do? Should I leave? And I'll tell you this, I never was like, I was never like, no, you should stay and make things out. I told her multiple times, like, listen, if you feel like this is an abusive relationship, get the fuck out of there immediately.
Melina.
It's just so weird. Like, my wife cries. I don't really cry. I have cried before, but my wife cries sometimes. I just don't understand. Why is she crying that much? We get into fights. We're fucking Long Island New Yorkers too. So, and we're both a little headstrong. So we fight every once in a while. Not like fucking like super intense fighting. We'll snap at each other and shit. We don't cry a lot. We don't have a lot of confrontations. Our confrontations end within minutes because we know how to handle each other and which one needs to be, needs to take a step back. When one person's a real dick, sometimes the other person just got to take it for a second and be like, okay, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? But like, she's constantly, you have this fucking, his own admission, child that's constantly crying all the time and miserable and unhappy. Why did you even marry in the first place? I don't understand. I don't know, dude. This is fucking insane. Yeah, admitting you're a bad person in a relationship is a shield to not evolve as a better person. Yeah, that's true. It's just okay.
Herself.
She's not 19. Isn't she like fucking 19? I could have swore that they were like, oh yeah, my wife's not 19. True. You got a good point there. I don't know.
Has also accused Destiny of being psychologically abusive towards her.
Probably.
I'm irritated by a couple things. One thing I'm irritated about is that my ex-wife has reached out to a ton of people. I'll say at least 5 mutual friends have alerted me. I have no idea how many other are affected. Basically saying that I've lied about a ton of stuff and that I am abusive.
No one said she was crying a lot. Didn't they just say that? What?
So Destiny has said that he was psychologically abusive towards Melina. Melina has said that Destiny was psychologically abusive towards Melina. And Destiny's best friend Dan also seems to think that Destiny was psychologically abusive towards Melina.
Yeah, but Destiny and this community don't care about women, so who cares?
I wonder if maybe Destiny was...
You don't understand, according to Destiny, she's a demon? Yeah, why do you think that she is a demon, even if she was? Because he drove her to that. I'm a fucking grown-ass man in a relationship. I understand what it's like to be with somebody that's fucking sucks and pulls the worst out of you. I'm not like I don't think I'm like an amazing guy. I think the best version of myself is with my wife. I've been in relationships before where I was like shitty. I was angry. I would break things. I was very unhappy. I was also working 2 jobs. I was completely financially supporting the other person. I was paying for their weed. I was paying for them to get massages because they had like fibromyalgia, which they were sensationalizing, so they didn't have to work and they could play video games 16 hours a day and not shower and not give a fuck and not respect me and not do anything and care about me. It doesn't justify any of the bad things that I've done, and I'm ashamed of myself for doing that. But the reality is the worst is brought out of you when you're with a bad person. And like, you know what? I was probably a bad person too. And I was probably worse than I thought. We're probably more equal in how bad we were to each other. Things can get very complicated and shitty. But like, I find it hard to believe that the girl 10 years younger than the guy that's rich got everywhere by himself, so he doesn't respect her nearly as much as he respects himself, doesn't really care about her, is talking about how he doesn't care about her feelings and will disregard her when she's crying. You expect me to believe that's not going to create a worse person on the other partner? What? Don't they call that reactive abuse? Massages were like $100 a week and weed was like 120 every 3 weeks. It was fucking crazy. Expensive, dude. I wasn't doing that well at the time either, so it's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more inclined to believe that the older person in the relationship with more money and influence and admits that they're a piece of shit is probably the piece of shit in the relationship than the younger person that's still navigating their feelings and not acting perfectly when they're with somebody who is a horrific human being. I mean, we're talking about the guy who tells women that says horrible things to women that are talking about how they were sexually assaulted, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. We just watched. We have a pattern and a history of not respecting women. It's very. I mean, we think it'd be strange, but it's just typical 35-year-old man bullshit, apparently. I don't know.
Logically abusive towards Melina. Destiny seems to think that as long as he's like, yep, I'm an abuser, deal with it.
Because they're going through some severe fucking psychological abuse, all right? It's a fucking hard thing to deal with. I'm not joking.
That he can just move on from this and sweep it under the rug, but I
Soy
don't believe
face.
should be allowed to do this. And I don't understand why any woman
It's all an excuse so that his fans can be like, well, he tells them how he is. It's like, okay, cool. It's great stuff, man.
would ever want to associate with Destiny after seeing shit
Just
like
boys
this.
being
Destiny
boys.
not only has a history of allegedly being abusive himself, he also has a history of surrounding himself with other abusive men.
Okay.
Years ago, the streamer Vosh was exposed by Destiny for sexually harassing a woman named Poppy.
Yeah, like a lot. Like it wasn't even like a little bit. It wasn't like, oops, I made a mistake. It was like a lot of it.
Yeah, so the problem was that we've gotten these complaints for like I think about a year, where like you've been like really sexually aggressive from a variety of people.
I've seen this before. I never really internalized it. They've been getting the complaints for a year, and it took them an entire year to stop to curb the behavior. I wonder why Vosh felt comfortable engaging in incredibly disgusting behavior in his community for a year. Interesting. Great stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, the worst thing is that you engage in a repeatable pattern of behavior where you try to be very sexually aggressive towards a lot of the women in chat in order to make them uncomfortable enough to send you pictures. And then if they don't, you either act very aggressive towards them, like by telling them that you can't continue conversations anymore, or you continue to sexually harass them until they either give in or block you or go crazy or whatever.
It hasn't, I mean, none of this has happened. That's an extrapolation that you can make based on Poppy.
But
damn, what a microphone, huh?
But even after
Hey, biggest crime that Vosh committed. That terrible microphone.
Destiny found out that Vosh had sexually harassed her, he still decided to be friends with him and platform him and help him start his career. And now, years later, because of Destiny's actions, all of us have had to endure learning about Vosh's horse fetish and his short stack goblin porn.
Yes.
If you don't know what I'm...
Well, but have you considered that they actually look 15, and that's hot, according to the community he came from. No problem there, baby!
Talking about, don't look into it.
This is an example of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Later on, after Destiny's
Okay.
relationship with Vosh fell apart, Destiny decided to become friends with a racist named Mr. Girl.
This is all true.
And Mr. Girl is not allegedly a racist, he is a racist. He posted a video openly admitting to raping a woman.
A couple years ago, I matched with a woman on Tinder. I say woman because she was 46. Anyway, we got frozen yogurt. She came over. We got naked. I got naked. Then we both got naked. We started making out. Sex kind of makes me anxious, so I don't like a ton of foreplay. To me, it should be like tearing off a Band-Aid, right? I'm trying to be patient. Finally, I get her on top of me. I put my dick in place, like right at her vagina, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. She holds perfectly still and says, I'm not ready. Clear as day. No mistaking her meaning. She doesn't consent. But she has this look in her eye. Like she's daring me to just push it in. Like I'm some kind of pussy if I don't. I could have been imagining that. But I grabbed her shoulders and pushed her down onto my dick.
I fucked her!
Did she like that I did that? I think so. She probably had mixed feelings about it. Was it rape? Yes. I guess. I don't know. She told me not to, and I did it anyway. That makes it rape.
I don't know what went through Mr. Girl's head that he thought it was...
Okay. Alright, cool stuff, man. Why do it and why admit it? Why is there so there? Sorry, I have to like fucking push through the me being like a numb. This is disgusting. You obviously shouldn't be. I don't even know. I don't even comprehend how anybody could do something like that. Like I don't know. I don't think this is a hot take. I feel like this is totally normal human experience to like be turned on when my partner's turned on. Hot take, right? I just want to be clear. I think that's the normal take from people. I think most people are most turned on when the person that they're fucking is also turned on. It's like a weird, psychological behavior called consent. I don't know. But that's like how I genuinely feel. And I feel like most people do as well. Okay. But number one, doing that's disgusting. Number two, why are you so comfortable admitting that? And it's just so strange that there's so many times, there's so much comfort admitting disgusting things. Like you're not even ashamed of yourself for having done such a disgusting act when you were younger. So like, how do you have remorse when you're talking about it as like kind of this silly, fun little, fun energy? You should be ashamed of yourself. And if you're going to talk about something like that as a teachable moment, you should be ashamed of yourself and talking about it from a place of like disgust. You should never have done it in the first place. But like, you can't even You can't even. Okay. It's just disgusting. You don't even care that you did that.
It's a good idea to openly admit to raping someone on the internet, but that's Mr. Girl for you. Mr. Girl is most well known for his review of the movie Cuties, where he said that he found the 10-year-old girls in that movie hot.
And it juxtaposes these amazing scenes where it's like you'll see the girls playing on a bed where they're stuffing gummy bears in their mouths and they're just totally children. And then you'll see them shaking their booties on this stairway as they make this this viral video, and they're pretty hot.
10 years.
To be clear, he goes on to say that the movie wants you to think that they're hot, which isn't even true. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the movie, specifically that they use children to do the dances and stuff. I ended up watching it because of everybody saying these things about it. I understand the uncomfortableness. That's totally fine to call that out. But I will tell you the one thing the movie does is it sets the tone to understand that all of it is not hot. The movie sets the tone. I'm not saying the movie is appropriate, but the movie, what it does the entire time, sets the tone that nothing that is happening is appropriate. That's the one thing that you can say about that movie to give it a little bit of charity. And so when he says that the movie is meant to make you think children are sexy, it literally does not portray that message. So like he invented this narrative that the show wants to make him attracted to kids. It doesn't at all. That's what happened to him watching it because he's attracted to kids.
Years old is 5 years too young for Destiny's taste, but he decided to become friends with Mr. Girl anyway. Mr. Girl also released a bunch of videos where he was like emotionally abusing his girlfriend on camera. After they had been friends for a while, Destiny and Mr. Girl got into some drama because Destiny had banned Mr. Girl from Destiny's subreddit because Mr. Girl was criticizing Destiny for the way that he had defended Nick Fuentes. And then
so it's so crazy. He's always legitimate friends with one of the most horrific human beings, white supremacists, actual rapists. And then those people do something to him, and then all of a sudden the falling out and thumbnail, they were a really bad guy. Wow, whoever would have predicted that? Incredible.
And then a few months after this, Mr. Girl released a report called the Destiny Report, where he outlined all of the ways that he believes Destiny is an abuser.
Probably, but Max is a rapist, so who cares what he has to say, right?
Most people ignored this report.
To be clear, they were never friends. You're just wrong. You're a weird Destiny glazer. They were friends. I've seen them talk before. They were legitimately friends. He becomes too friendly with these people. They were friends. He was friends. You don't get together and have fucking chicken and waffles with people that aren't your friends. You don't get together and have like deep conversations with these people. They were always friends. It was never in a professional conversational capacity. They were friends. It's weird defense running from probably children that don't actually understand relationships, which is probably why you say that. So
because they didn't really care to listen to a potential abusive pedophile rapist give his opinions on why he thinks Destiny is abusive. The report was also over 100,000 words long, and it was terribly formatted, and honestly, no one had time to read all that shit. And while I
you wouldn't listen to his credibility, so
personally think that Mr. Girl is a disgusting weirdo, I do think he made a couple decent points in his report. Mr. Girl's main perspective is that he believes Destiny has a pattern of being abusive towards the women in his orbit. And now that we've seen
they were friendly, that's it. So true. You're so right, man. You got me on that one. Just friendly. I too am friendly with pedophile rapists all the time, man. It's fucking crazy. What an idiot I am. Holy fuck. How could I have just said that they were friends when they were just friendly? Friendly to the rape apologist Myron, the rape apologist anti-Semitic woman hater Myron, friendly to the rapist pedophile Mr. Girl, friendly to white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Wow, fuck. Friendly to the disgusting sex pest Vosh. What? Friendly. Not friends, guys. They're just friendly. Friendish. A little bit. It's crazy. That's fucking wild. It's weird. I don't have any friends like that. Isn't that so strange? Isn't that just so regular? What an incredible thing.
evidence that Destiny has been sharing.
You know what my friends usually are? Bus drivers, mechanics, like fucking regular people.
Sex tapes of his orbiters and his ex-wife behind their back without their consent. I think this adds some credence to the idea that there
He's just too friendly. No, he's not. Destiny's not a friendly person. It's all it's content. It's content for him. He made a lot of money and a lot of content off of these people.
Might be a pattern of abuse happening here. In my opinion, Destiny kind of reminds me of the character of Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if Dennis was shorter and scrawnier and more annoying.
I didn't know I was being filmed. If you're in my room, you're always being filmed.
Right. Not Nick, though. He gave pushback and talked shit about him constantly. Okay, you don't get together and have a nice time with somebody. I don't know what to tell you. Pushing back doesn't mean you can't be friends. That's how it would work in a commentary sphere. I don't know what to tell you. All right, we're gonna split fucking hairs. This guy's friends with rape apologists, not the white supremacist that he had a nice breakfast with. It's like, okay, it's like boring at this point. Nobody obviously cares. This community doesn't care. I didn't really care very much. I would always be like, yeah, I didn't like that, but I would fucking excuse the shitty behavior like a dumb asshole because I thought he was still a well-meaning guy, and then that fucking facade was shattered for me. Finally, which pulled me out of the whole fucking Destiny universe. You know, it's just that one fragment that's left, and until that fragment is gone for you, it's not going to matter. But you probably don't have that fragment because most of you guys are kids that are dumb as fucking dog shit that don't understand any relationships because you don't have healthy relationships at all. That's why you fucking idolize him. I don't know what else to say. But you know.
You are.
He does.
True.
He does.
It's just
Always
kind of
does.
creepy.
In case you haven't seen the show, the character Dennis is known
I know who Dennis is.
for being a psychopath who's incredibly good at manipulating women.
Oh, look, I'm not narcissistic. That's good. I told you guys I was humble. We're a bit Machiavellian, a bit not psychotic. Psychopath, a bit psychopathic. That's what I'm looking for.
The most famous clip of Dennis is where
Psychopathy reflects shallow emotional responses. Wow.
Psychopath, a bit psychopathic. That's what I'm looking for.
The most famous clip of Dennis is where he explains that if you take a woman out on a boat with you, she won't say no to having sex with you because of the implication.
So true, King.
The whole purpose of buying the boat in the first place was to get the ladies nice and tipsy topside so we can take them to a nice, comfortable place below deck and, you know, they can't refuse because of the implication.
Oh, okay. You had me going there for the first part. The second half kind of threw me.
Well, dude, think about it. She's out in the middle of nowhere with some dude she barely knows. You know, she looks around her. What does she see? Nothing but open ocean. There's nowhere for me to run. What am I going to do? Say no?
Okay, that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer
This is fucking ridiculous. This show's great, though.
obviously is no.
No,
But the thing
right.
is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Well, in 2020,
True.
Destiny explains that he doesn't think it would be good for someone who has a large online platform to be sexting the women who he has as guests on his show because of the implication.
Let's say that I run like a really big podcast. I get 30,000 viewers. Let's say that I have a podcast. I got 30,000 viewers. Let's say that there's a girl that messages me. We talked a little bit and she really wants to be on. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, you really want to come on the podcast, blah, blah, blah. I could probably start sexting her and she'll probably give in and send me nudes and shit because she doesn't want to lose that opportunity. She might not actually want to. She might not be into it really at all. But if I start propositioning her, if she says no to me, she might worry like, fuck, like if I say no to this guy, like I'm not going to make it on that podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then,
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
and then are you wrong for asking in that case? Even though
Yeah.
you saw it.
I think
Yeah,
it is
agree.
wrong. Yeah, I don't
agree.
think you should.
However,
I
as
knew
we know-
I knew there was a reason I like this genuine guy. This guy is always a genuine, nice guy. He's always telling the truth.
No, Destiny has a long history of doing this exact thing to the women who are guests on his show.
I don't like the idea that we're normalizing, you know, someone bringing in a bunch of small content creators that are women, fucking them, right? And then when that fallout inevitably happens, like, just cast them away. Like, it's a really weird dynamic. I work with women, and I'm happy with the fact that it's professional. And that needs to be a standard that we set for more people, because I hate the idea that I just show up on screen with a woman, and it's automatically sex. But can I really be mad at an audience for thinking that when I hang out with Steven, who literally fucks pretty much everybody he works with?
It is possible that like you are like a.
Well, I think we need to see a little bit more context that's going on here.
Average Destiny enjoyer, by the way. It's out of context somehow.
Very, like...
Oh, really? You showed us 15 minutes from the conversation where he said a thing? Can you show me the entire 7-hour-long stream? If you're not willing to show the entire 7-hour-long stream, then it's not enough information for me.
Mature person, and even if they turned you down, you're still cool with them being on your podcast. Like, there are some people like that, but like not everybody, no one knows. That's the problem. Nobody can ever know that if you're actually that kind of person. That's why it's like a very hazy area where you can't really consent in that situation. You don't really know.
Crazy and hazy.
So on the
yeah, Destiny fumbling a friend like Abba's sister. Like, I think Abba's the only friend that Destiny's ever had that's like a normal, decent human being. For sure.
On one hand, he is saying that you shouldn't sext with women who are guests on your show because they can't fully consent. And on the other hand, he is sexting with most of the women who are guests on his show and sharing around their sex tapes without their consent. A woman named Lav came forward and said that she felt pressured to send Destiny feet pics in exchange for being a guest on his stream.
At least in my case, I was so...
It's crazy. Everybody said she was kind of crazy. And I remember covering her allegations against somebody once, and she is actually kind of fucking crazy. But I think that's the game. It's to find fucking crazy girls that nobody will ever trust or believe because they're actually crazy, and then fuck them, and then who cares what you do to them? I wouldn't doubt that that's the fucking tactic.
Desperate to get out of sex work, and I told him that, and he said, why don't you stream with me? This can open up an avenue where, like, you don't have to do what you hate to do. And I'm a political streamer. You can get into politics.
Cool.
Like fully extending himself to me in a way that was, like, very friendly. And then it turned into something like, oh, right after that conversation, he was like, oh, by the way, I don't see any feet on your profile. He. Like, immediately after.
Incredible.
Apparently, after she sent him feet pics, he said, "Welcome to the Orbiters Club," implying that sending her feet pics is what will give her the chance to be one of his orbiters. Now, Destiny
But guys,
claims that
you need feet to orbit somebody. You gotta walk around them, am I right? That's the context you're missing. Stop.
this was a completely ironic joke, and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously whatsoever.
Well, that's the way you do it, though, right? That's the way you do it, though, right? Is that you make a joke and see if it's called a tester. Right, you talking to a girl and you make a fucking joke and see if she's open to it. That's kind of like how the fucking thing works. I mean, I guess sometimes you can make a joke and not it being a tester, but I doubt it.
But if Destiny himself has said that he shouldn't be sexting his orbiters because of the implication, and then he sexts his orbiters and then says, "Welcome to the Orbiter Club," I am struggling to see how this is a joke. And even if it was intended as a joke, like Destiny explained in this previous clip, you shouldn't be making jokes like this because the person on the receiving end might not understand that you're joking.
Yeah, but you don't. This is the problem. This is the thing that Ryan doesn't understand. We're like an hour into this video. He just doesn't get it. Women aren't people to Destiny, okay? Ryan, it doesn't matter what you say. Destiny doesn't respect women as people, so obviously he's not doing anything wrong. What are you talking about, dude? Come on, you gotta get with the program. We gotta get with the program, dude. Because for people, men, you respect their boundaries. Like Myron, the stand-up guy, who, despite the fact that he obviously hates women and says it's women's fault for getting assaulted because they should have picked a better guy, he doesn't talk shit about Destiny when even if it would benefit him from an opportunistic perspective. He has these things called boundaries. But for women that consensually send nudes, we literally bypass those boundaries to talk to other women because women are objects. They don't matter. They're not people. And so they don't need to have boundaries. So women, okay? Women, not people. Men who tell women that it's their fault they get raped, those are good people that I respect a lot. It's incredible. Now, me personally, I think that they're all people. Except for Myron, who's 3/5 of a person, of course.
It seems strange to me that Destiny had this incredibly nuanced view of consent a couple years ago, but then once he wanted to start sexting people, all of these rules that he set for himself went out the window.
Now, again, there are exceptions. Maybe you're friends with this person for 10 years or some shit, and you guys have like some, like, it could be like very niche. I don't want to say like every single time, but like as a blanket rule, if you even have to stop and think about this, you should just not do it. It's just a bad idea.
Later on, Lav
okay. Jesus Christ.
Accused Destiny of being the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube because she felt like Destiny had a pattern of manipulating the women in his orbit into doing sexual favors for him, and because she felt like it was emotionally abusive that every woman who came on Destiny's stream would inevitably be flooded with hate comments on his subreddit, which Destiny would refuse to take down. If you come onto Destiny's stream as a woman, you can be pretty safe to assume that you are going to get a bunch of hate comments on Destiny's subreddit.
And again, they might be crazy, but again, I think that's part of the tactic, no?
According to Destiny's community, it's
or
not because
just super convenient that all the women he talks to are fucking crazy. I don't know.
Because they hate women, it's just because these particular women all happen to be too stupid to debate their daddy Destiny.
So true. I think that there's something people should keep in mind about Destiny, okay? Because he is a smart guy, and he does put a lot of energy into his craft of debate. But he's just kind of the typical above average intelligence. He's no smarter than me or my wife or anything. This is just the craft he's chosen, okay? And I know you're like, oh, Bobby, you're so full of yourself. I drove a mean bus. I drove a mean bus, dude. I drove a mean bus. I could back that fucking bus up, dude. I barely got into any accidents, except for the time that I crushed that guy's leg. But in my defense, he was Italian, so it's kind of okay. I'm just kidding. Sorry, bud. I love you. Not incredible stuff, of course.
One time, Destiny's head moderator of his subreddit named Forethought sent one of his female orbiters the message, Kelly Jean, stop pretending like you're hurt by sexism. Your greatest aspiration was being an esports victim.
Wow, incredible.
Holy fuck, no wonder you wish you got raped. You've got literally nothing going on to be doing this at 40. After seeing these messages, Destiny refused to remove Forethought as a moderator of his subreddit.
Yeah, I would probably remove that person too.
The whole idea.
I was forklift certified, actually, unironically, okay? Fuck you. I was fucking forklift certified, dude. Dude, I was fucking forklift certified, brother. I was forklift certified, dude. I was forklift certified, dude. I was fucking forklift certified. What do you have to say about that, dude? How did I get forklift certified? It's not that fucking difficult to get forklift certified. The place I worked, they had somebody who could certify you for a forklift. You take a test. You drive a forklift, you take a test. It took like no time at all. Okay? I also had a fucking class B with air brakes, all right? It's not hard, okay? But I was fucking torqued all the time.
Is that if there's no wrong way to treat Kelly Jean or whatever, if that's her mentality when it comes to her, who's to say that doesn't expand to other people?
But can we just why is it okay to do whatever you want to
Kelly Jean?
Oh yeah,
you'd have to ask Destiny that.
I mean, it's Kelly Jean.
That's not that.
Yeah, but if you have that mentality, Destiny, then yeah, he's gonna copy it, isn't he?
I wonder why women don't always feel comfortable on Destiny's subreddit.
I honestly have no idea.
At the time, Destiny and his community absolutely tore Lav to shreds because they didn't think that she had enough evidence to substantiate the claim that Destiny was the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube. One time when Lav was in the hospital, Destiny sent to his public chat, like, I wish this person would just kill themselves already or fuck off from my shit forever.
Crazy.
Destiny even one time shared with his public chat that there was a Kiwi Farms thread being made about Lav. In case you don't know, Kiwi Farms is a message board that is famous for doxing and
it comes from the CWC farm. I believe it started with Christian. Wild stuff.
Harassing people.
Someone is gonna make a documentary about it one day about like online harassment. People with disabilities are gonna be insane.
They don't like. So by sending Destiny's community to her Kiwi Farms page, Destiny was essentially doxing her. To be clear, I'm not trying to 100% defend Lav here. I think that some of the negative comments about her debating were accurate. I don't think she's a particularly good debater. I also don't think that she necessarily had enough evidence to back up the claim that Destiny is the Harvey Weinstein of YouTube. Although these days I do think there is a lot more evidence pointing to that being the case.
I think there's enough evidence to be like, time to just stay away from this guy, you know what I mean? That's it.
She also one time claimed that Hassan had slept with a 17-year-old, which she didn't have any evidence to back up, and then Hassan ended up tearing her to shreds for that. And since then, she has become...
My understanding, I don't know how true it is though, is that he did go to a brothel that was rated for having underage people there, though. But, you know, I'm not saying he was slept with any of them, of course.
Become a TERF who says a bunch of racist and transphobic shit.
Honestly, Hassan reads more as a guy who wants to fuck grannies, like older women. You know, he's probably has like some kind of mommy issue or something. He seems like the kind of like little pussy boy that needs his mom to make him chicken, and that's why he gets up and leaves segments on his stream. Because he needs his the ego to get his mommy's chicken for him, you know?
On Twitter. However, I do still think that the treatment she endured from Destiny's community was insane. Being a bad person does not disqualify you from being abused. And if a woman feels like she's being
was rated for tax evasion? Shit, is that true? I feel like I got some egg on my balls there, huh? Is that true?
Abused by you and your community, I don't think a good way to prove that you're actually not abusive is by telling her to kill herself and doxing her.
Well, if that's true, I don't want to be promoting a lie, just to be clear, okay?
Her. Destiny's
Hassan hung out with DJ Academics at the brothel. There's no way that's true. That's fucking crazy.
Community wrote off.
Hassan says that brothel went to he rated for tax crime, but instead, well, this one says Hassan says that the brothel he went to was rated for a tax crime, but instead it was rated for sex trafficking exploitation. So which one is true? It was both? I don't know, man. I mean, you know what? Tax evasion got them in the door. That actually does make sense. It's like how they used to get like fucking gangsters. They got them on tax evasion. It's debated. You know what? I'm not going to make the point anymore after that, maybe. Maybe that's the best way to operate, you know?
Lav as mentally unstable and insane, and because both her and Mr. Girl were widely hated by most people on the internet, most people ignored their allegations that Destiny was abusive. Destiny has a long history of bringing mentally ill women onto his stream, to the point where it's a meme in his community that all of the women on Destiny's stream have BPD. Destiny himself has said that he's most attracted to women who he considers mentally unstable.
This dude really has a penchant for going after mentally ill women, okay? Women with like severe depression, and a lot of them got like self-diagnosed BPD or some bullshit. Like, he just likes that. I don't know. To me, the fact that there's a pattern with a lot of these girls is a bit weird.
But
I always make jokes about how mentally unstable women are like hot because they're crazy and they suck dick good or whatever. And I'll tell you that my wife has some of her own problems, but I feel like there's different types of mental illness in women. There's like the Lav type, which is just always there and outward and direct and fucking intense energy. And then there's the ones that hide it until you fall in love with them, and then they dump it all on you, and now you're in love and you got to deal with that shit, and you're like, God damn, it's worth it. But fuck. Those are the productive types who become social workers and nurses, of course.
The question is, does Destiny just happen to attract a bunch of mentally unstable women to his stream, or does he purposefully attract mentally unstable women because he knows they are more easy to abuse?
Yeah, I mean, that is the question of the day, huh?
Another mentally ill woman that Destiny had a long conflict.
Probably, honestly, he might just be attracted to them, and then it just happens to work out that nobody cares about what they have to say because he could just write them off as mentally unwell. So
with was a woman named Anna. Just like with Lav, Destiny also encouraged his community
there's so many women. This is fucking so strange.
To go to Anna's Kiwi Farms thread, and he encouraged them to post in her thread.
Oh, okay. Also, heads up. This is my only non-media blackout time, okay? This is my only non-media blackout time. I will immediately back this, okay? Somebody on Kiwi Farms has made a thread of Anna. So if you are obsessed with Anna and you want to talk about her all the time, you chatter, you can actually go to Kiwi Farms and you can go and post all you want, read all you want, go there, post about it, talk about it. People put a lot of effort into categorizing and archiving everything. There you go, okay?
This is such a weird fuck.
And in the thread about Anna that Destiny encouraged his fans to go message, they doxed Anna. And it was later revealed that at this time, Destiny was secretly in an ongoing sexual relationship with Anna.
So
incredible.
You acknowledge that you've been sexting with her for a year.
Yeah, we've had on and off, sure.
In response to this, Anna texted
Crazy.
Destiny, "You literally ruined my fucking life. You just doxed me on your stream. Fuck you. You put me in danger." And Destiny responded to this by saying, "You're doing it to yourself and you're going to keep doing it to yourself."
Because you threatened to leak my nudes, you okay, gotcha. A lot of pattern of Destiny leaking nudes.
This is one of you're doing it to yourself and you're going to keep doing it to yourself. This is one of the most insane things I have ever seen in my entire life. Choosing to dox a woman you are actively sexting with just because she pissed you off. I guess if you want to live life by Destiny's rules, if your wife or girlfriend or friends with benefits ever pisses you off, why not just dox her to hundreds of thousands of people? I also want to be clear that I'm not defending Anna. Anna also has a long history.
Yeah, she's probably a piece of shit. That's the whole point. Like every person surrounding Destiny, including himself, is a piece of dog shit. In fact, I wouldn't doubt that he likes to have pieces of dog shit surrounding him so that he has something on them. So if they ever try to do something in retaliation to him, he gets to go, look at them, they're such a piece of shit. Yeah, who the fuck would have thought? Oh, wow. It's almost like he exclusively is friends with pieces of shit. Wow. Name one person outside of ABBA that is a normal person that's like in Destiny's orbit. Oh, fuck. You can't. They're all pieces of shit. The most notable, Vosh, Hassan, Mr. Girl, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Sneeko. All the crazy women that he had sex with and then makes content out of after disavowing them. Yeah, because, okay.
Of
It's crazy. What a world.
Harassing Steven, which is obviously not good, but Destiny also treated Anna like garbage. He not only doxed her, but he also threatened to leak her nudes when she threatened to leak sext messages between the two of them to prove that Destiny had been lying about her.
So do you think that leaking sexting?
Guys, you're not supposed to actually you're not supposed to actually fucking post people in the group chat. What am I saying, group chat? You're not supposed to actually post people inside of my fucking... You're not supposed... It's a rhetorical question. It's a fucking rhetorical question, dude. Fucking shut up. All right. It's a rhetorical question, dude. You're not supposed to fucking answer it. All right, guys, stop it.
And leaking nudes is proportional, or do you think it's a proportional response in the way that you're reacting to that?
I think it's about proportional. Yeah. Thanks.
You don't think that she has more to lose in that scenario? Like, you think that people were going...
Oh, I mean, she could have more to lose, but I just don't see the huge difference between, like, sex and nudes. Like, you're leaking, like, personal, like, sexual shit. But
hold on. I want to just...
Destiny had been lying about her.
So
messages between the two of them to prove that Destiny had been lying about her.
So is the intentionality her showing sexting messages to... What was Destiny saying about her? Because for this to be proportionate, like if she was like, yeah, let's say Destiny's like, oh, I hate her and she's ugly or something. And then she's like, well, I'm going to leak the sexting that we had that shows that you don't think that. And then he decides to leak nudes, that's disproportionate. what's the full context? I guess
proportional.
Proportional, yeah. I mean, she could have more to lose, but I just don't see the huge difference between like sex and nudes. Like you're leaking like personal, like sexual shit.
Well, nudes are obviously much worse than sexting. You know that, but okay.
That somebody sent you and like trusted you with.
He knows that he obviously knows this too. He's just debating so to make himself seem right.
In my opinion, this is...
And he's debating it confidently so that people think that he's actually right.
Like one of the biggest forms of like weird like back...
Ah, she wanted to leak the sexting to prove that they're still in contact. Gotcha. If that's the case, then like, yeah, it's obviously not proportional. He's full of shit.
Stabbing shit that you can do. It's like one of the worst things a person can do is like leaking like private sexual shit like that.
I love you, Tom.
He said she was a crazy stalker who he was ignoring. Gotcha.
So Anna had stalked and harassed Destiny, and Destiny had lied about Anna and threatened to leak her nudes and sent his fans to a
Gotcha. So he was pretending she was stalking him, but they were actually sexting together. Okay.
Website that doxed her. This is a situation where they were both clearly in the wrong, but I think this situation sent a message to Destiny's previous sexual partners that if you get onto Destiny's bad side, he will not be afraid to threaten to leak your nudes and send his fans to a website that doxes you. Looking back at Destiny's streams from over the years, I found at least 20 different women who had allegedly had some sort of sexual relationship with Destiny at some point, and I found at least 15 different previous female orbiters who now all hate Destiny's guts, and Destiny now labels them as crazy. The fact that Destiny has...
Again, they probably are, but that's the game.
had sex with a bunch of his orbiters and now a bunch of them hate him doesn't necessarily prove abuse. But what I do know is that Destiny is not living by the standard he expects other people to live by. Again, he said himself that you should not sext people who are guests on your platform.
Listen, let me tell you something. If that many people that you used to, if that many people are coming out and saying you're a bad guy, you're probably a bad guy. All right, that's just kind of the reality. You know what? A bunch of my exes would probably come forward and be like, "He was a fucking asshole," and I was. I'm not proud of it. You know, it took me a lot of maturing to realize that I was a fucking shitty asshole. But I would also admit it. Destiny has not changed. He does not have a motivation to change. He's still making money, and he's getting the feedback that he wants: money and, you know, fame. Doesn't care. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But it's not a hot take. He's probably he's a piece of shit still. He hasn't grown or changed. Ethan talked about me. Wait, what do you mean? Was it a good or a bad talk?
On your platform because they might not be able to fully consent because of the implication.
I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
And at the very least, he has totally and utterly failed at living up to this standard of conduct that he expects other people to live by. I think we would need more evidence to concretely prove that Destiny's stream really is this system of abuse. But all I know is that there are.
I don't think it matters. Just stay away from this guy in this community. If you're comfortable there, you're a fucking weirdo. After all this stuff, shit. You know what I mean? But there's always like new people. Well, people don't care. He set his expectations so low on this community. Nobody fucking cares. So
alleged victims and a whole host of other women who absolutely hate Destiny's guts. So I would recommend that women should stay as far away from Destiny's community as possible.
If you know that the people you're going to be involved with are only short-term partners, and you constantly see the after effect of most of your hookups and your interactions leaving a trail of broken hearts and disappointed people, that's a moral failing.
All right, let's recap all of Destiny's treatment toward.
But again, he gets to monetize every time he has a falling out with a woman, so it works out really well for him.
Women. Destiny sexually assaulted a woman. Destiny has a long history of sharing women's nudes and sex tapes without their consent. Destiny allegedly recorded a woman having sex with him without her consent. And in his messages to his Discord kitten Rose is Coming, he sent her audio recordings of men that he had slept with from Grindr and said, "I went out and sucked a guy off a few nights ago and recorded the audio. It's really scuffed in my pocket, LOL. Did I ever send it to you?"
Why does he do that? Is that just all he does? Is he takes Dennis does the same thing. He records the videos of it too. It's gross.
If he was recording the audio from his pocket, it sure doesn't sound like that audio was recorded consensually, does it? Maybe he did ask if he could record him, but then...
Hey, can I record it from my pocket? I really like the allure of violating people's boundaries, but I don't actually like to do it. It's like a little bit of CNC, but a little different, you know?
And he put the phone back in his pocket where the audio would sound terrible for some reason, but I highly, highly, highly doubt that. And if he was recording men from Grindr without their knowledge, it's also very easy to believe that he was recording...
It's crazy because, you know, this whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, Destiny does not respect women, but at least he respects men. And then he fucking violates a man's boundaries by recording him filleting them. It's like, dude, you know, come on. It's almost like the only things that you do support are actual worthless representations of people like Myron Gaines, Mr. Girl, and Nick Fuentes. I mean, Jesus. And all of them are an ethnic. You know, it's like they're not even all white. Right? Fuentes, Hispanic. Mr. Girl, according to Myron, white supremacists. Jews are not white. And then Myron's black. This is obviously a joke, guys. Okay? How do you record someone from your pocket? I think you record the audio. I don't know. Maybe just try it. Probably could have just tried that first before asking the question.
Recording Cherry without her knowledge. He has a history of calling 15-year-olds attractive and sharing pictures of them in bikinis. He has a long history of getting very mad at women when they post about their sexual assaults on social media. He has allegedly abused at least one of his female orbiters and was psychologically abusive towards his ex-wife. And he also admitted to choking out another one of his exes multiple times. However, he claims that this was done in self-defense.
Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times.
Finally,
wow, incredible.
Destiny has a history of doxing and threatening.
Not really surprised at this point, you know.
To leak the nudes of women that get on his bad side. I find this incredibly ironic because in his Keffel's manifesto, he says that progressives believe there's no such thing as bad tactics, only bad targets.
And what comes of the belief that there are no bad tactics, only bad targets?
Well, if you ask me, doxing women and threatening to leak their nudes is the definition of bad tactics that you should not be doing even if you think that woman is a valid target. If you add up all of these allegations, I think it's time to consider that maybe Destiny is just not a good fucking person. Maybe he's your typical male feminist and all of the liberal bullshit that he spews on his platform is just him trying to get into women's pants.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that.
Before it had been publicly exposed that Destiny had shared Pixie's sex tapes without her consent, in private, he acknowledged that he had severely, at the very least psychologically, damaged her.
Probably. Is that from the leaks or just him talking to her? I looked at obvious reasons, but I don't really care much about the legal side or whatever. Obviously, I've severely, at least psychologically damaged her, covering therapy or whatever is a minimum. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's mostly because he got signal boosted so much, right? If he wasn't so popular, it wouldn't have been as bad. But still, it's disgusting, and you shouldn't be doing this type of behavior. It's fucking gross.
He acknowledged that he had severely, at the very least psychologically, damaged her. But once Pixie came out with her allegations publicly and announced that she was planning to sue Destiny, he went back to his old defensive ways and took accountability for nothing. He posted to his subreddit, "Legal arc beginning in mysterious ways. Such wow."
Like, yeah, obviously now that it's evolved into a lawsuit. Right. And so he can't really speak on it. He can't really say that he's in the wrong, even if maybe he does feel like he's in the wrong. We really don't know. Here's what I do know, or even what I feel, or here's my interpretation of the situation more than anything else. It seemed like there was a lot of back and forth between the girl and other people like Erudite, in my opinion, a middleman for Destiny, so he doesn't have to deal with himself, but I could be wrong, about the way that things should be operated. And one of the consistent things was that the girl Pixie never felt like Destiny cared. He didn't care, and he didn't actually, there was no accountability. There was no reformation. He didn't really care about what was going on. There was no true accountability. He wasn't truly getting it. And so she wanted to hurt his pocket by getting money from him that goes to charity specifically. So it wasn't even about her getting money, which I believe that she should get to. If he had just cared in private about this, if he had just been like, yeah, that was fucked up. Like, I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, what can I do? Like, this was, whatever, 4 years ago or whatever. I really fucked up. What can I do to change it? I really want you to understand how much I feel bad about this. I don't think any of this would have came public in any meaningful way. But because Destiny literally doesn't truly give a fuck, which we've seen a ton of instances of how absolutely disgusting he is and not caring, especially about women, I think that's why it's gone in the way of the lawsuit. But now he gets to say, hey, guys, I can't say anything because of the lawsuit. But in reality, I think he really just does not care. So...
which is the most millennial cringe way possible to respond to allegations of sex crimes. In this post, he never takes direct accountability for sharing Pixie's sex tapes with Rose Is Coming without her consent, and instead he focuses on how he's a victim too because his nudes were also leaked by the hacker that apparently hacked Rose Is Coming. Obviously, Destiny is also a victim in this situation, but I struggle to find empathy for him because he refuses to take accountability for sharing the sex tapes.
Wasn't he the one that distributed all the stuff that got leaked, though? Or no, am I wrong about that? Like, and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like another girl that another girl got leaked? Like all the stuff he sent to some other girl got revealed and leaked, right? Or am I wrong about that? Was it actually like his Google Drive or whatever that was leaked? Or was it like her Discord that he sent all his stuff to her through? Which one is that?
Non-consensually in the first place, which led to this entire mess. He also talks about how Pixie was asking him for a large amount of money because she was trying to teach him a lesson, and I don't necessarily...
Yeah, so is he really a victim? Or no, am I wrong? If he sent it to the chick and either she leaked it or it was hacked, her Discord. Yeah, so like... I don't know, is the picture of him sucking a guy's... I mean, did he get consent to show it to other people? I don't know. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter at this specific point, but
really see anything wrong with
it seems like he's the one who made it get leaked. No,
with her wanting to teach Destiny a lesson. Maybe he needs to be taught.
like, were all the pictures he sent her consensual? Like, for him to be able to send them from, you know what I mean, the people he was with, or I don't know.
A lesson. Pixie made the point that unless there are some real consequences to Destiny for doing this, he'll probably just do it again in the future, which I agree with. Yeah. Destiny later sent to his public chat, Pixie and the people behind her just want money. Yet, this is a blatant lie because she made it abundantly clear to Steven that she would...
Also, if she did want money, who cares? That's not discrediting to me. Who cares? I'd fucking want money too, dude. You leaked my nudes to people? You leaked all my fucking nudes to everybody? Of course I'm gonna want money too. I want some restitution. Even if she wanted money from this, who fucking cares? It doesn't mean anything negative if she wanted money for it. Just be absolutely clear. All right?
Would be willing to donate the money he gave her to charity. So just like usual, Destiny is attempting to smear his victim in order to silence her, even though in my opinion, Pixie has done absolutely nothing wrong. And I think this shows incredible moral character on Pixie's part that she's even willing to donate this money to charity because I don't think she has any obligation to do this. But even with Pixie being basically the quote-unquote perfect victim, Destiny still decides to smear her. My favorite sentence from this post is when Destiny says, I have been trying to move on from covering drama content as it has had an increasingly negative impact on those in my life.
It's been like his content since the start, no?
Bitch, you loved covering drama content when it was other people's heads on the chopping block, but now you want to stop covering.
Which, by the way, me too. I don't like being in my own drama. Who likes that? I just want to like kind of sit on the side and go, oh girl, you know what I mean? I try not to get too worked up on it though, generally speaking, because, you know, I don't want to attract an audience with some bad energy.
Drama once your head is on the chopping block. After this, Destiny sent some messages to his chat that were even more defensive. I have never done anything maliciously, as any of the fucking insane allegations say. That's fucking retarded. My only crime was being too much of a gooner in 2023 and earlier, 100% sure. Though again, I can't...
I like how he was like, yeah, I went on a medication for like his ADHD and it reduced my sex drive. I don't do this anymore. I just find it so funny because it's like, it's not like you went on a medication because you had an issue with, like, let's say that maybe he's a sex addict. Like you had some kind of sex issues, so you're like, this is a bad behavior, I gotta go on this med. Or it's not like you realized it was a bad behavior and like, yeah, this is like shitty. He's literally downplaying it here. This isn't just too goonerish. This is fucking gross, pathetic behavior and that you've been engaging in for like a decade. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He doesn't care about what he's done. He downplays it. He thinks it's not a big deal. He never will care.
I can't say anything specifically because everyone wants to come at me in court now, I guess. When he says that he didn't do anything maliciously, I think he means that he didn't intend for Pixie's nudes to ever get leaked to the public, but I would argue that non-consensually sending her sex tapes in the first place was malicious in and of itself. And again,
he obviously gets off to sending people videos of him fucking other people. I mean, I'm guessing that when he was in high school, he was a fucking loser nobody wanted to give attention to, and he never got any sex, and so now like he likes to show other girls, look, I can have sex, and he's like, I'm really good at it. I watched Revenge of the Nerds 5 times in a row. I'm really good at eating pussy. Like, I feel like that's what you get out of Destiny.
I think Destiny would agree with me that sharing the nudes in and of itself is malicious because he said that when Bob 7 allegedly did the same thing, this should be life-destroying.
But I do believe that these are relatively life-destroying revelations.
And
relatively, of course.
You are not fucking stupid, Destiny. You know that if you're sending around sex tapes to random 19-year-old e-girls, eventually something is going to get leaked.
You know, actually, one of the craziest parts about this whole story is the fact that Destiny trusted a 19-year-old Discord lady, okay, named...
What do you mean? Oh, and after those two, Nicholas Rhetoric went all in. What do you mean by that? What did he go all in on?
Rose...
His marriage to Mika, or...?
...is coming with sex tapes of other people in his life. Nigga. If that's not compromised judgment... I don't know what the
I'm gonna say it on accident, dude. Stop, please.
fuck is, okay?
Also, your only crime is being too much of a gooner? Destiny's just a little bit of a goofy gooner. It's not like he committed any serious sex crimes. He's just a little gooner goblin. Look at my gooner goblin over there in the corner gooning. As usual, every single thing that Destiny says is an attempt to downplay, and refuse
Yeah, it's probably gonna work, so it's the unfortunate reality, huh?
to take any fucking accountability. Then Destiny sent this to his chat. Bro, if I need to go on the sex offender list, I'm taking like 20 other streamers with me, okay?
Oh man, that's crazy. It's crazy that there's 20 people that you know are apparently. It's just crazy that there's 20 people that you apparently know that belong on the registry, and you just haven't decided to report them. Man, that's impressive work, brother. Impressive work.
Lol W. Again, trying to deflect from taking responsibility by saying that a bunch of other streamers have done the same shit. If other streamers have done the same shit, then yeah, maybe they should be on the sex offender registry. Recently, another clip of Destiny resurfaced where he talked about how he knew that a bunch of different streamers had committed sex crimes against children, but he just didn't care to expose any of them.
Like, everybody's gotten pics and more from underage chicks, depending on what you've heard in different communities. No, let me finish. In the esports community, okay, everybody has been involved in that shit, okay?
Why?
And there have been people that have gone way farther than that.
Do you know people in the esports community?
I'm not.
That have,
Yeah, but I'm not going down that road. There's tons of rumors.
What the fuck is wrong with the esports community? Ah, it's a bunch of losers that'll take whatever they can get. I got you.
No. Wait a minute. If you're saying you have knowledge of a crime and you're not willing to bring it forward,
well, people talk about it, but like I don't have the means to go and acquire the evidence to like name names and name victims.
Break
and find
Dorito Gate right now, Destiny. Come on, let's hear it.
This is not my job. Listen, okay, I'm gonna be frank. I'm not gonna suicide my fucking career to go on some fucking vendetta against a bunch of fucking video game guys, okay? This is not my life.
But now...
Yeah. What do you mean I'm brutal to Nicholas Diorio with the Mika joke? Why do you guys think when I say that... Listen, there's just a little sidebar here, guys. Okay. When I say that Nicholas Diorio... Let me get this guy up here. Let me see just a picture. Why do you guys think that I'm being such a bad guy? I'm fucking pulling it up. When I bring this up. All right. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna find her Instagram. I gotta find a good picture of her. It's a little tougher to find a good picture of her than Nick. Sorry. Give me like a minute. Just give me like a couple minutes. Oh, she's a fucking account's private. All right. I don't even know how to get this. Wait, okay, stop. Okay. You're telling me that, come on, this? You telling me that these two don't make a good couple? You're telling me that these two don't make a nice couple together? Are you serious? Are you serious right now, dude? You don't think that these two would be a nice couple? You don't think so? Come on. That's rough. That's her profile picture. I really wanted to find a nice picture. This is how the fuck. Come on, girl. Dude, she has I don't know if you guys know this. She has an amazing personality. All right. All jokes aside, she's really not that bad looking. She just really makeup is fucking terrible. Just to be clear. Okay, I'm fucking part gay. I can tell you that. All right. Makeup is fucking terrible. But she's not a bad looking girl. Okay, she carries herself well. Everything aside, they would make a cute couple. If I knew how to work a computer, I would find those AIs. I've seen people use AI to make people like come to life. You know what I mean? I see on like TikTok they use AIs. They're like, "Oh, my mom, my dead grandma is doing the hokey pokey. It makes me cry because she loved that dance." If I had the means, I'd make the two of them hug, kiss or something, and the AI would be fucking funny to me. But they're not bad looking. Okay. They're not. They'd be a nice couple, but really, she's got to get her. She just go to fucking Sephora or use less makeup. This is preposterous. That's not good makeup. Okay, you're not doing yourself any fucking favors here. It's like if I wore a goddamn Borat, onesie swimsuit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not for me. That makeup's not for you. That outfit's not for me. You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say.
Now that his head is on the chopping block, I guess maybe he'll finally expose these abusers that he's been covering for years. And the last thing that Destiny has posted at the time of this recording was an absolutely hilarious meme on Twitter where he said, "Korean barbecue is a little overrated, but I've always loved the short rib at this place." And it's a picture of a Korean restaurant called Goon Barbecue.
Ooh,
Again,
got it.
Implying that he's just too much of a gooner.
You know what they said, dude? He's probably good. Probably the food's probably made a dog. That's why you got that dog in you. You know what I mean? It would be more funny, the joke, if it wasn't about such a disgusting piece of shit,
Because gooner sounds a lot better than sex criminal. He is choosing to be his same old self, making jokes instead of taking accountability. This motherfucker has the absolute gall to release an entire manifesto about how Keffels needs to take accountability for her actions, but then once he's in shit, he takes absolutely no fucking accountability for his actions. Like, is this dude an actual fucking baby? Are you a child? In what fucking world is this the right way to respond to the fact that you violated one of your friends and, in your own words, severely psychologically damaged her? Never in a million years could I imagine being a soulless, heartless piece of shit like this who treats my best friends like actual human garbage.
Yeah, because he doesn't have real friends. They think that he's friends with them, but he's a disingenuous piece of shit.
And for you to get up on your high horse and act like you're the moral police of the universe who has any place to judge other people while acting like this is fucking insane.
True.
With this whole situation.
Also, go live near your kid, asshole. That's not a joke. Just like, what are you doing?
I don't think Steven shared this because he thought it was okay to share. I personally believe
he just didn't care. I don't think that he thought he'd get caught, and I don't think he cared.
This was my theory, that he shared this because he just didn't care, and he didn't think that the other person would ever find out.
True.
And that to me is almost worse. Because it shows that you don't care about the people you slept with and who shared that intimate moment with you and recorded it.
True. It wasn't even just like messages. I remember, what was it? Like, oh yeah, we saw it before. Like, he's talking about these girls and how attractive they are and shit. Like, he's like, it's just like, it's just gross. The way that he talks about, like, women. He's had sex. It's just, there's no respect for these people.
And it shows to me that if you are going to be able to avoid the consequences of it, you'll say and do things behind closed doors that are just unbecoming. And if I'm your friend and I see you do that to your other people that you slept with and you call friends, then I can only imagine that even for me, I might not be safe and I can't trust you. And what I see is another more failing where it's like, when no one's watching, you're not doing the right thing. You can massage it however you want. It's a shitty thing to share a sex tape, but it's not the worst thing. I'm sorry. That's fucking garbage behavior, okay? It just is. Call it a spade. It's garbage behavior. Don't mush it over because you like your favorite streamer. Don't mush it over because you think he's important politically. It's garbage behavior.
Right before uploading this video, another woman...
I mean, it's not very important politically. He can't be very important politically, I would imagine, if he has no actual moral foundation. I mean, that's what I would say.
...named Stasia just came out with allegations that Destiny shared...
Oh yeah, the context of him sharing Pixie's video was that she was bad at it, but it was only a video he had at the time. Right, yeah. It was just gross. You're sharing details like that to people. It's fucking nasty as fuck.
Explicit material of her without her consent. And a woman named Denims just came out with an allegation that Destiny had recorded her without her knowledge.
Wow, what? What the fuck? Oh, he didn't have sex? I'm just reading this. Denims is now the fourth woman to come forward to accuse Destiny of illegally recording her without her consent. She says that when she refused to have sex with him, he weaponized the illegal voice recordings as part of a smear campaign to silence her. All horrible people. This is fucking insane.
This recording was non-sexual, but apparently it's illegal to record people without their knowledge in that state. Destiny chose to ignore
Wait, you said California. Did he live in California at a certain time?
Asia's allegations for some reason, but in response to Denham's allegations, he sent messages to his public chat threatening to leak the recordings of her in an attempt to silence her, showing that he is still engaging in the exact same behavior as always. So now we have 4 different women who Destiny allegedly shared
What the hell is this? Is a woman?
nudes of without their consent, 1 woman that Destiny sexually assaulted, 1 woman who felt pressured into sending Destiny feet pics, 1 woman who Destiny allegedly recorded sexually without her knowledge, 2 men on Grindr who Destiny allegedly recorded sexually without their knowledge, and 1 woman who was recorded non-sexually without her knowledge, for a grand total of 10 different victims that we know of so far.
Alleged, of course, for some of them.
And this is of course not including the 15-year-old girl that Destiny shared bikini pictures of, or the 8-year-old boy whose penis Destiny stared at. When will Destiny's
Jesus
community,
Christ.
DG,
This is fucking insane.
wake the fuck up and realize that Destiny is just not a good person?
True.
I know that I said that I wouldn't focus on my personal beef with Destiny in this video, but I wanted to just point out one thing. I found it really funny that in his Vosh manifesto, he cries about how people online have attacked him for identifying as non-binary in the past.
Many have attacked me in the past for identifying as a non-binary. I no longer identify this way, even though I've considered different sexual or gender identities and discussed it at length at various points in my stream.
Destiny
Wait, is that real?
have attacked him for identifying as non-binary in the past.
Many have attacked me in the past for
Is this him reading a manifesto?
identifying as a non-binary. I no longer identify this way, even though I've considered different sexual or gender identities and discussed it at length at various points in my stream.
Destiny.
Wait, okay. Hold on a second. Wait, I'm so sorry. Okay. What a fucking loser. Not because he identifies non-binary. Okay, listen, I'm a 34-year-old, like a big, I'm a 6'4", 300 and something pound, bearded, bald-headed, conservative-looking guy who's more like left-leaning. And so like it takes a lot for me to understand. I don't get non-binary. I don't really get it. Okay, I don't truly get it. You know, I get trans people that are like, oh, I want to be a girl instead of a boy, or a boy instead of a girl. You feel like you're born in the wrong body. Okay, I don't really get non-binary, but I'm trying. But what I try to understand is like, okay, people are just experimenting with their whatever. Okay, you're just trying to feel yourself out and see what makes sense and what. Okay, whatever. I kind of get it, but I don't get it. You're telling me this stupid ass motherfucker, Destiny, used to identify as non-binary for the reason of exploring his identity, but then went in on Ryan for identifying as non-binary when he was also exploring his identity. What? That was Vosh, not Destiny? Who was it? I'm so confused. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me reread it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I found it really
It says addressing Vosh's allegations, Twitch ban manifesto.
funny that in his Vosh manifesto, he cries about how people online have attacked him.
It sounds like he's reading his manifesto about how he used to be non-binary. I don't think that you're right that it was Vosh identifying as non-binary.
Identifying as a non-binary. I no longer identify this way, even though I've considered different sexual or gender identities and discussed it
It's fucking stupid.
at length at various points in my stream.
Destiny and his community have been harassing me for years about identifying as non-binary. He said that he doesn't think my identity is real.
It was Destiny who's identified as non-binary, but he's reading from the Vosh manifesto. Yeah, he's reading from the Vosh manifesto he wrote about Vosh.
And he tweeted that I'm faking being trans for clout, and I've had a bunch of his fans come and make fun of me anytime that I post about being non-binary, which made me feel like I had to go.
Dude, it's just such a weird hypocrisy to get caught in. Like, what a stupid fuck. Like, I don't know, how could you, like, identify as that as, like, some kind of an, unless you were doing it for attention. I guess maybe Destiny was just doing it for attention. That would make sense to me. And then you're going to give other people a problem for identifying as non-binary, even if maybe they aren't non-binary. Maybe they're just exploring. Wouldn't you have, like, a level of empathy for that?
Go back into the
He was sarcastically non-binary?
closet at one point. But when people
I
attack
don't
Destiny for being non-binary,
Many have attacked me in the past for identifying as a non-binary.
it really hurts his
Doesn't sound like he was doing it sarcastically.
feelings. This is just another example of Destiny being a hypocritical little bitch who cries when people are mean to him and then turns around and does that exact same shit to other people.
What's the context I'm missing? What am I missing here?
People. If you want to be an asshole to
True, Vosh doesn't identify as non-binary. He identifies as a horse. True.
non-binary people, be an asshole to non-binary
He did it to seem interesting sexually. I wouldn't doubt that, I'll tell you.
people. But then don't
I mean, that might have been the tactic back then before he was rich to try to fuck girls. I'm actually non-binary. I'm pretty cool. Paint his nails like black or something.
Don't be a weaselly little bitch who turns around and cries when people are an asshole to you about being non-binary. Destiny is the perfect example of rules for thee, but not for me. He says Bob Seven should have his life destroyed for sharing nudes without consent.
I'm not running around screen sharing people's nudes.
Then he shares nudes without consent. He criticizes Keffals for being a bully while he's the biggest fucking bully on the internet. He cries about how people on the internet have doxed him, and then he turns around and doxes a woman who he is secretly in an active sexual relationship with. He says it's not good to sext women who are on large streams.
I think it is wrong. Yeah, I don't think you should.
And then he turns around and sexts every single fucking woman on his large stream. He says it's super weird to sext 19-year-olds because they're basically children.
You're a little kid.
And then he fucking says
The way he says it's so weird.
Texts a 19-year-old. He says we need to hold Keffals responsible for her actions, and then he takes absolutely no fucking responsibility for his actions. My worst crime was being too much of a gooner. If you go back and rewatch this entire video, do you agree with Destiny that his worst crime is just being too much of a gooner? Destiny, you are not too much of a gooner, you are a sex criminal. To this day,
Yeah, maybe. Definitely a fucking, I mean, was a sex pest? He's just a fucking loser, man. I don't know.
Destiny is still refusing to fully take accountability for his actions, as he has done through every single fucking step of his career. According to Destiny, he really hates weasels. He even has a weasel emote that people spam in his chat whenever someone is trying to weasel their way out of an argument.
Is that a weasel? It's like a ferret's face.
Or is refusing to take accountability for their actions. Well, Destiny, I think you should get this emote tattooed on your fucking forehead. You are a weak
I would have ended before this part. This is weird.
pathetic little weasel, and I hope that everyone has
You're a weaselly little liar, dude.
finally opened their eyes to how much of a wriggling little weasel you always have been. I hope that after this,
Incredible.
you take a long look in the mirror and you realize that you actually have a lot more in common with Keffals than you would ever care to admit to yourself. You have both
And maybe Vosh, too.
lied to and scammed your audience. You are both massive bullies. You both aren't afraid to use harmful tactics to get what you want.
How was that?
And most of all, you both have a pathological need to avoid ever taking accountability. So, from now on, I shall be referring to you as Keffalstony.
So fucking gay. It's so non-binary of you, Ryan. Sorry, that was silly. Okay.
How's that for a nuke, buddy? Anything else?
It was so cringe, it might have stuck the landing. Honestly. It might have stuck the landing.
Really quick before the video ends, I've linked the fundraiser for Pixie to sue
how's she
Destiny
doing
down
on
below. If you would consider donating to that, I would appreciate it so much. If this lawsuit is successful, maybe this is finally an opportunity for Destiny to be held accountable for his actions.
I'll think about it. I don't know. 46. Damn, she only got $2,000 after this video.
Also linked accounts for Pixie, Cherry, Lav, and Melina down below and recommend you give them a follow. I think in situations like these, victims can end up
Defels would have been better. I get what you mean, but I feel like the Estony needs to be part of it, you know?
being
Epistony goes hard, true.
kind of just used as ammo for different people to fling shit at each other, and these victims can end up being collateral damage. So it would be super nice if you could go show them some love after all of the shit that they've had to endure from
I wanted to make it an appropriate joke. I'm not gonna make it. I was gonna make like, oh, maybe I'll show them some love if they have an OnlyFans, but that's very inappropriate considering, especially what she's going through. I think Melina too. They seem to be decent in this. I don't know who the fuck this is. She's fucking crazy, but I guess that's the tactic, huh? This is Cherry. I don't know. There's too many women. If some of them were fat, I would have been more likely to show them love. Sorry, I'm being stupid.
It's like these.
I'm just a little gooner.
Victims can end up being kind of just used as ammo for different people to fling shit at each other, and these
Show me fat women. Ugh.
victims can end up being collateral damage. So it would be super nice if you could go show them some love after all of the shit that they've had to endure from Destiny and his community. I also
Sex Destiny. Fuck, that's funny too.
also wanted to let you know that I got Pixie and Cherry and Lav's blessing to make this video.
Oh, cool.
And I really hope that I approach things in a way that they will approve of. I know that I did some shit flinging in this video because I really don't like Destiny, but I hope that I approach things with nuance, understanding, and empathy for the victims.
Pretty good.
Also, in a little over a month, I have a massive 3-hour-long project that I've been working on for the last 6 months or so coming out. I think this is gonna be the last traditional commentary video that I make on this channel. If you wanna see more like short form commentary videos, go.
Is he coming back, making content again? Are you getting back? Are you starting to fucking work again, Ryan? You lazy fuck. I'm just kidding.
Check out my other channel, which is also linked in the description.
Well, where the fuck is it? Oh, no, it's a weird way to link it.
Have you ever...
Shut up.
And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see that massive project that I've been working on. All right, I'll see you then.
All right. Cool video, man. Good stuff. I liked it. Solid.